myself, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the bonus roll second sight agency game. Uh,
Yeah.
Everyone, say hello.
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 Hey folks, how y'all doing today?
We are playing D&D set in Ravnica, and this is our 20th episode.
Woo.
Hooray.
I honestly expected I would
don't make it
have.
this far.
Hey, that is impressive.
Sorry.
I honestly expected I would have accidentally killed you all like way before this.
You almost did last
Seriously?
Mhm.
Or are you just being sarcastic right at this
I
point?
don't even know anymore.
To make up for it, I mean, the other Sunday night DM killed me last week, so, I mean, maybe that's where my extra luck's coming from.
That or you just have some crazy party members that just
Well,
come up with the most ridiculous stuff to solve things.
That
Like
too.
downing a lethal bottle of alcohol from Arachnos Guild like, to overcome fear.
yeah, that would do it.
It worked.
Hey, Equilibrium. Equilibrium's in the chat, y'all.
Yo! I was like,
Hey,
love you.
Okay, let me run through my little announcement thing real quick. As always, the background music is provided by Sirenscape. Powerful tool set, check them out. Just search Sirenscape. We are going to be stopping the game about 30 minutes early today to have a Q&A session at the end. We've had a couple questions sent in, and if y'all have any questions for each other or for me, y'all can ask them during the Q&A, and any guests in the chat can ask questions as well. Equilibrium's asking how y'all are doing today.
Okay.
Doing great.
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm doing fine aside from technical difficulties, which
Life.
Got my new haircut, and I'm a third of the way through a world map for a campaign. And I have another game tonight, and I'm going to be buying pizza, so I'm pretty super.
You are super adorable, by the way. Okay,
Yeah.
so final reminder, there will be no episode of Second Sight Agency on the 1st. I will still be traveling back from visiting my loved one. Also, there will be no GM's Brew this week because I will be with my loved one. Let's see here. We are 6 followers away from our 50 follower goal on Twitch, at which point we will give away a beginner box. So, hey, if you haven't followed us, please follow us. If you're watching this later on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe so we know that, you enjoyed this. And if you are listening to this way in the future and I have actually managed to get all these uploaded onto our podcast network, please rate the podcast. Did you guys have any other announcements?
No, just saying
Nothing?
I am seriously looking to being the GM seat eventually, one day.
It
In and
is
out
fun.
of this grouping.
Okay, so
I'm hearing Brigham calls the first one shot. That's what I'm hearing. He's got dibs.
Okay, fine. We'll do Deadlands Reloaded.
I am fine with Weird
that's
West.
something I've never done.
I will grow my mustache back out.
It's a setting I love, but not something I've ever had a chance to play with.
Well,
Definitely
guess what?
interesting. And we
I
will.
will be.
Oh, go ahead.
I will download modules.
We will be talking about stuff like that later. I can promise you that. So, where we last left off, the attack by the figure in the night has led to a series of revelations and recovering from various mind control type spells. A interesting series of events has led y'all to be teleported to the AppleOak Monastery, where y'all had a relatively nice night, if not a little crowded and dealing with, issues. The morning saw y'all kind of gathering yourself and making a plan. It's currently Mokash 13th. About getting close to the afternoon at this point. Y'all have spent a lot of time planning and talking with Glorious, the Vodai of the AppleOak Monastery. And so, what are y'all doing?
More planning.
So you wanted to go to the Boros?
Well, that was my idea, really.
I mean, my idea is I need to get out of these walls.
Yeah. I
To
demanded
do anything.
Brigham believes that we should go to the Boros. Because we figured that the next plan of attack after, getting together healers would be to get together the main body of fighting force. And it's like,
Should we try to set like a target day or something? Or like just get people that we know we can have sending to and then try to find someone with sending?
Well, part of your planning was y'all wanted to see a map of the locations of the encampments. So let me go ahead and transition y'all now.
Because I think at the monastery you have a lot of people you could contact if we did it magically, but
So
like if we had to organize the effort.
So y'all are currently at the AppleOak Monastery, which is the green and white dot. I got some of the locations a little thrown off because I didn't have a physical map in front of me at the time. Almost directly north of you is the Sanctum of the Bright Soul, and farther north than that is the Demir Postal Hub. The next guild hall is to your northeast, and to the east is the Rakdos Club, the Murder Coliseum. And then way on the other side of town, past two neighborhoods, is the Sunhome Boros Legion. Y'all are currently in this purple region, which is the Barrow Hill neighborhood. The green region is the Sin Hill neighborhood. And the yellow region that y'all have never visited is the, what was that called? The Burgeoning Bloom neighborhood.
Is that the up-and-coming neighborhood?
It is the neighborhood that it's... You know that, like, when you're getting to the edge of town and you're starting to see less roads and more green? It's kind of like
so
that.
the sticks.
Okay,
That-
so
that
it's
would
the
be
one with all the
very-
gun shops and the liquor stores, and then the deer feed
So-
store.
I saw
gotcha.
the and the Azorius were massing between like the 4th and the 6th, right? Near
They-
the north.
Yeah. They're massing between the northern end of the Barrow Hill neighborhood, and as well as along the southern portion of the Barrow Hill and Sin Hill neighborhood. There's not as heavy a presence along the eastern edge where the 6th precinct
they're on
touches
that
the
side.
3rd.
Okay.
But basically, there is a U-shape of Azorius guarding and keeping people within the area.
Well, I figure the Azorius are probably doing a good job on that front line. Like, from this, though, I can definitely see us probably hitting up the Rakdos, rave party over there and pushing along
The Murder
east along-
Coliseum?
yeah, the Murder Coliseum. And you're just pushing along this southern and eastern way up to the
Yeah.
Boros Legion. Like, with the idea that, hey, guess what? If you do this, the Boros would owe you one.
Yeah.
I would feel like the Rakdos would be one of the last ones we would want to hit because we'd be like, everyone's on board for a slaughter party. Would be a better argument.
I mean, it's already a slaughter party. Like,
Yeah, I guess.
I think of note, we're trying to cause a distraction, not necessarily a full-on military.
I mean, if we're
thing
just
is
trying to
that-
cause a distraction, we
hang on,
don't
hang on.
necessarily need everyone.
Yeah, we don't necessarily need everyone, which is why
Yeah, I
I'm
just
thinking
think that
hitting up
if
the
you're
two
in for
big ones that are
distraction,
fighting.
I think the
Well, Mir
Demir
had
and
the
the
boy at the back.
Rakdos are probably they're pretty.
So-
Well, I mean,
They're-
look. Nothing's a bigger distraction than explosions, which is why the Rakdos and the Boros are probably the best ones to bring that about. And it's like,
Well, that would be more like the is it.
Yeah.
well, is it can outfit them? That's all. That's not an issue. It's like, the issue is trying to figure out where, where are we trying to draw attention away from? I was like, on this map, or is it not on this map altogether?
I feel like maybe we should spy out one of the camps and try to see what they're doing with the beast control,
Okay.
if that's what's giving them the big advantage.
So it's been a while, and I know that why did I forget her name? Corral indicated a relative position to where she was. Could you do like kind of a circle in that area
Ping.
on the map?
Let's see.
Yeah.
How do I do the ping again? It's Alt and
Just
press
click,
and
I
hold.
think.
Just press and hold. Press and hold. I was like,
Yeah.
That is roughly
Okay.
the location. She didn't tell you the exact location. She said it's near.
Can you do it again?
like the southern bit of the bulwark.
Okay. So
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So my question
Okay.
basically
I
is that we don't want to lead them south, obviously.
Right, which is why we have to push up from the south to the north.
Right.
Which is why we should hit up this group here. It's like, and then just make a line through here. It's like, and into here. It's like,
Sun home.
Yeah.
now, the Rakdos being the Rakdos, maybe we can get the Gruul?
Golgari.
Gruul?
Golgar? No, not
Golgari.
Golgari. Not Golgari. The Gruul?
Gruul.
The Gruul?
Gruul? Yeah, on a merry little chase. It's like if any guild is going to be can do anything about that, that would be the.
I would say the Selesnya, instead of just being the healers, might be your best enchantment breakers for the beast.
Maybe.
I mean, they do have a lot of animal knowledge and nature knowledge
Yeah.
that
not
could be put
mention
to
that.
use.
I
The
think
problem is that the ones locally here are a monastery. The best they can do is knock it the fuck out.
right. It's pretty much more
they're-
civilian than military.
They're more monastic. It's like, if anything.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, then we're going to rely on Faraday
they're
to
monks.
take care of the beast.
They are
which is
monks.
Animal handling.
They are me.
Okay, out of character, I am not Legolas. I can't just, knife my way up an elephant and cut it off.
No.
So,
Hold on,
Just
I
get
need
the
to
clip that out
change
there.
a encounter real quick.
You can always make ranges with them.
You can be certain that we'll at least use serving trays to go down steps at some point. Or shields, we never know.
I'm just sad we haven't gotten to the hot springs episode yet.
Y'all had a bathhouse
Oh, yes, we
episode.
did.
We
That's
did.
right.
Yeah, we had a
Never
freaking
mind.
bathhouse episode already.
Y'all can
Yeah.
go back there at some point, probably. I'm assuming
No.
y'all are having
Oh,
this
I think
conversation in the garden, and that Reeve is there, and Kay.
Yes,
But
minus
yeah,
the
even
Legolas
with the out of character
comment.
nonsense, we are we'll sum up basically what we've been talking about back and forth.
Okay.
But yeah, like if we can get the Rakdos on our side, and thank God we have Reeve with us, he can give us some insight. And it's like
Well, I
we
can
can
tell
probably.
you, pretty easy to talk him into anything. If he can get the leader on this side, Ringmaster makes the calls, man.
Right.
Yeah, I know, right?
Who's the ringmaster right now? I think we said that, but I forgot.
So
Well, Emmy and
Because-
Siki did the setup, but Devotion's the one that's going to be running the place. He's the ringmaster for much of this area.
Can you tell us anything about him?
Nope. Never met him.
Mhm.
any sort of rumors about how to approach him?
With drinks and food.
Entertain them. I mean, like, everyone in the guild is, like, it's about having a good time. It's about putting on a good show.
And by putting on a good show, that pretty much is risk your life and limb to do the best show you goddamn can.
Well, I mean, if you hold back, what's the point?
I know, right? I'm like, anyway. I'm a goblin in the Selesnya conclave. Why would I fucking hold back? Anyway.
So we're near our
Midsummer
home
Night's Dream.
neighborhood. I think I can find us a tunnel if you still wanted to go underground in between. But
well, if it might be interesting to get us there, but like once we have the Rakdos, I don't think they're gonna be satisfied going underground when they can just wreak havoc.
I don't think we need to bring them with us yet to the other stop.
Yeah, but anyway, the point is that again, like we need to like the Azorius have the center part of this bulwark here like covered. It's like, so we can at least count on them to be them. It's like, is there anything
Count on them to be them.
To be them?
Yeah, they're going to be stopping the Gruul. Does that animal have its vaccination records? Oh God, it's attacking. That's the
they have like truncheons and stuff.
you forget
Yes.
the power of their abjurations. They are very good at restraining things and keeping things from moving forward. Anyway, what can the Dramir bring to the table in this situation? Like,
libraries?
Like,
information?
Right.
Figuring out what caused this to start with so that we make sure it doesn't immediately happen again?
Well, we had a little bit of knowledge on that. They had a really long ceremony and they got control of the big animals, which gave them a stronger force to come down.
How the hell did you come to that conclusion?
Heard
All we know is
last
that there was
game.
just drumming going on and then it stopped suddenly and they attacked. That was it. And
Yeah, I was about to say, we know that... Not Cathal. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure they told us that they were enchanting the big animals.
they were told that they had giant animals that shamans were riding on. That was about it. And it's like there was no connection between that and the drumming.
Yeah, I thought that what we knew was Gruul was regularly doing some sort of ritual. Then she didn't for some reason. And now she needs to do that ritual again to...
Well, the thing is that the
do
Gruul
something.
attacking.
What Gruul told you was that she was out gathering samples, and when the Gruul incursion occurred, she was unable to return to the altar.
Right.
I also don't know that we should trust anything that she said that
No, but
thoroughly.
I mean...
Well, I wonder why she wanted all y'all simic samples anyway.
I don't understand
Something
the
will.
question.
That's something we'll figure out later. The problem is that we need to work on both covering her and defending our home. Our workplace.
So, just to make sure that I'm remembering correctly, she said that if she got to the altar, the Gruul would go away, right?
No, she said that if she gets back to the altar, she will return something that she stole.
Right.
Oh.
Her only concern with the Gruul is that they are currently in her way.
Right. To which
Okay.
all I can say is that
So we still need to get the
deal with this.
Gruul out of here.
Right. And hey, that's in our best interest anyway.
Agreed. Okay, for some reason I was thinking she was gonna do
She was
some
not pivotal.
ritual.
She was not pivotal. Pivotal. It was like pivotal. It was like in stopping the Gruul.
No, she was
that's
frozen.
on-
No. Sorry.
So,
So what I'm thinking is that if the Azorius, if they're abjurations and they're angels and whatnot, hold the line here, and we come up from the south, gathering Rakdos and Boros, and then push in from, say, the west, or probably go up a little higher and then down from the north. We can get them in a pincer.
So
Well, don't we want to
sometimes-
just herd them north so they'll go back?
Yeah.
That's why we leave this area along the, say, north side that they can just scatter upwards to.
Okay, so
if we
couple of questions.
The important thing is that we have to turn the tide here.
Okay, wait. So this is somewhat out of character. I know my character would
okay.
know. So where are the Azorius exactly?
The Azorius
Can
are
you-
basically along the border of... Hold on. Where is that at? Line.
Yeah, if you could just make a ping. I'm sorry, I'm just like visually challenged right now.
The
I figured
Azorius
that...
are basically set up along this line, not letting people in or out.
Sorry, when you...
the area.
Oh, I see. Oh, it's a full-on perimeter.
Yeah.
Except for the red
they're just
waves,
keeping this all
obviously.
kind of.
Yeah.
I see.
Well,
okay.
That's it. There are people here and here.
Right.
And you would figure that they would still have, folks along, say, the border between these two areas here.
Okay, they're keeping it some kind of cord.
Yeah. So if we can basically go from, say, here, maybe push up a little more here, and then come in through here, and try to sandwich a sizable portion of this forest. And especially if we can disrupt wherever the big animals with shamans on them are going. I probably would disrupt the I guess I wouldn't say chain of command with these guys. I don't exactly have a chain of command, do they?
Well,
This
shamans.
is
Not
definitely
exactly.
their motivating force.
They should have tribal chains of command.
Yeah, there are clan leaders, and the clan leaders bow to the strongest.
Right. So basically, we just have to beat down on whatever it is that giving them their motivating force. And after that, then they probably would, fall into disarray with the idea of, okay, here, I've got the better idea. No, I have the better idea. So, we need to scout out where these fuckers are.
Yeah.
Alright.
The problem is that-
Specifically, if we
yeah,
could figure out kind of where the quote-unquote leaders...
the problem is that we're
Are.
going to need help with scouting.
And
Yeah.
I will be back in just a second. This is the rare time that I forgot my dice because I was doing desk setup.
Oh, right. I need to grab
Okay, if you don't have your
mine.
dice,
Are
get
just
your
across
dice.
the room over.
Oh.
I gotta reach a whole 3 feet to the side.
Oh man, that was beautiful. That was like 20 minutes of y'all just planning and me not having to say or do much. That's like peak DM right there.
Yep.
Every DM's dream.
Sit back and enjoy the debate.
Right. Alright,
But yeah, the
as far as scouting goes, I mean, I'm not too bad at it.
Yeah.
But,
you're what? It's
well, if we need to sneak around ourselves, we're not the
Yeah,
most
see, the-
obvious party.
Yeah, see the...
go on.
Sorry, got a text. It's just kind of out of character. I would think the Selesnya would be the best scouts, but I keep on thinking of the more traditional set, whereas this is more urban. So I don't know if that would be.
The thing that you
True.
also again have to remind yourself, it's like, this is a monk, like kung fu monk monastery.
Yeah, most of what the AppleOak Monastery is focused on is teaching self-defense, community, and making wine.
Right.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I need a jug of that.
Honestly, all admirable
Like they
gold.
bring you a green glass bottle, about maybe 750 milliliters. It has a label on it of a apple superimposed over an oak tree.
And they don't distill anything stronger than wine, do they?
No, we'll go to the Rakdos for that if you want that. It's like, for now, I'll take 3 of these bottles.
One of the monks in the area kind of blinks a few times, nods, and brings you. Okay, mark
it's
down.
going to be a long day. I need this going.
Mark down that you have 3 bottles of AppleOak red berry wine.
So red oak, apple berry wine. What?
AppleOak red berry
Apple.
wine.
Is AppleOak one word, 2
It's 1
words,
word.
hyphen?
1 word, capital A, capital O.
AppleOak
Red
berry wine?
Yep. It's made and fermented by a special berry that Galoris and several other druids know how to cause to sprout from trees that are hybridized.
What's our marketing order? Are you on K and we'll put Reeve on garnish?
It's daylight.
Yeah. I'm not leaving Coco here, so you can do what you want.
The Dromeds don't like the light.
It'll live.
Yee. Wow. Your Golgari is coming out. Like,
For the
holy
record, the Dromids are literally like, as the sun moves across the sky, shifting their position incrementally to stay in the shadow. Y'all are getting
Coco
close.
is coming with me. I don't trust it here.
Y'all are getting closer
So wait,
to
okay, so-
noon about now.
And I might need someone to help me carry skeletons. So Coco has to come.
Wait, what are we doing?
I don't understand what she's trying to do. Look, explain what you think we're doing here.
Guiding you where you're going and picking up dead Gruul to disguise us.
At what point did we?
I think it's pretty easy to disguise yourself as Gruul, as
Just
it's
take
more
off your shirt,
removing
go on.
clothing than donning.
Wow.
Yeah. Just take off your
I mean,
shirt, throw some mud on your face, maybe some more paint. Who knows? It's like, look like a big disgrace.
Well, I mean, what better disguise than walking in the middle of a group of Gruul that are walking?
And I do happen to have some theatrical supplies. If we are going full on disguise. For some reason, I have a disguise kit. Sure, I don't know why I have a disguise kit.
While y'all are planning, a couple of the monks come on by and drop off bowls of this hearty mushroom porridge stew that they've been serving for breakfast and lunch since y'all are getting near lunchtime.
Yeah, just not even looking, just take a hold of it and be like, well.
Okay, eat.
Ingrid will try it and then decide, since it's mostly mushroom, she doesn't have to season it.
Well, I think the thing is that we probably are going to end up having to split people up here. Like the ones that are actually capable of stealth. We go scouting, and we keep in contact with the, doohickeys.
feel like we're probably going to get outside of the range of them. I also feel like if the shaman are riding building size animals, that we don't have to do much scouting.
No, you're right. We probably just have to climb up to the biggest building and then see.
Yeah, and figure out where's the biggest building size animals.
Or, the tallest point. Which one?
The biggest building near y'all is the Nix Guild Hall. Nivix Guild Hall. It's literally a skyscraper.
Up there?
I guess we're gonna have to, go straight for get the highest point, and that'd be a war room. And
okay.
Is that where
Again,
Spanner
are they gonna
is?
have trouble?
Spanner lived at the Guild Hall, yes.
Alright, well, I guess that'll be our next move. We're gonna have to get a better position to view.
Okay, so y'all's plan is to head to the Nivix Guild Hall then?
I mean, if you just want a simple aerial view, I mean, Watcher could just send you all images.
That works.
Keep in mind, Watcher's like 2 feet long.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
he has a limited perspective view.
Okay.
So to get a higher view, you would lose a lot of detail.
Plus, they probably have cool magnifying glasses and stuff with the Is It.
Yeah, it's just that if we disguise ourselves as the Gruul, we're going to have to also be able to undisguise ourselves by the time we get to the guild hall.
I wasn't planning to disguise myself. We could do that. That would work. I was just going to raise a couple to walk on the outskirts of us and then make them lay back down when we got near anyone.
Okay, how...
I
Okay,
think you're going to need to see a Selesnya therapist after this is over.
yeah, so when you raise undead, I was under the assumption it was pretty obvious that they're usually undead.
It depends on the
Is
type
this
of undead.
correct? Okay.
I mean, they'll still be dressed in Gruul clothing. It could give us a good shield from a distance. And a literal shield.
Up close.
Okay, so having made a decision, I'm assuming at Ingrid's insistence the dromids are being brought with.
Coco's coming. I don't know
Alright.
about the rest.
Well, we don't want to cause them undue discomfort, and I can, I'm pretty quick on my feet. It's like, as a
I guess
goblin monk.
we do that.
You
Are you
would know.
quicker than a building-sized monster? Of a beast?
You would
I mean,
know
we're
that,
not chasing them.
you would know that dromids are very rare above ground, and their coloration is not exactly, blend into the city location. They are rather noticeable.
I guess if y'all are disguising and going stealthy. So the question is, are we going stealthy?
To get into her guild hall?
I think that the problem is if we dress up like Gruul, that may be able to get us towards the guild to Nivix, but I feel that once we get too close in proximity, that will become a detriment very quickly.
We're 10 blocks away from the guild hall. I think we can make it.
Okay, I'll leave Coco.
Okay, so with that final decision made, y'all head to the gates. The guards kind of look at you, nod to each other, and pull the gates open. Stepping outside, y'all step out into a literal war zone. There is rubble everywhere. Buildings have been crushed around you. You can see for miles where there's just been huge tracts of land that have been barreled through by giant creatures. There's sinkholes in the ground nearly 40 feet deep. And off in the distance to the northeast, you see the shimmering blue-red energy field that's fully encompassed the Nivix Guild Hall. You hear explosions off in that distance and the clang of weapons and shouting to the north and the west. And so,
I would like
go ahead.
I would like to scout for 2 Gruul bodies.
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
I guess I'm assisting.
Should we have proper music for this?
I mean, technically, if we were stealthing, I think we should probably do it at night rather than noon.
Non-natural 20 with assistance.
Yeah, but that would ruin the point of being at the tower to scout things because we won't be able to see that far in the dark.
There aren't the Slesnia, or at least the monastery, is not exceptionally bloodthirsty. They will fight to defend themselves, but they will often give their opponents a chance to retreat if they're being defeated. So there's no bodies in this area. There is clear signs of combat, though. So here is how this is going to work. Y'all have to accumulate 4 successes on skill or ability checks before you accumulate 2 failures to make it to the Nivix Guild Hall. So, who wants to go first on this roll?
Question. Before we do that, can I run an Arcana on that shield? Because
What? Oh,
I'm my assumption is that even if we got there, the shield is impenetrable, and
go ahead.
we're
and,
not going to be able to like shout out, and they take the shield down just for us.
Go ahead and make an Arcana roll.
I'd like to assist and also mention that maybe there's some way we can fake a guild badge or find a guild badge to take near the shield.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to be okay, Arcana check. It's going to be like
I mean, if push comes to shove, we can come up through their sewers.
22.
22?
That's
Yeah.
That's not horrible. You recognize it is some sort of protective magics, which is odd because the Izzet are not known for their abjuration.
I'm thinking it's a lot less, shield and more like shot in terms of protectiveness.
I think the details of how it keeps people out is irrelevant as much as how do we get in there without compromising the whole thing of the shield.
Well, while you're studying and watching it, you see this, like, scaly winged form of a drake flying towards it, and as it gets within about maybe, you're not 100% sure due to the distance, but maybe within half a mile or so, there's this pulse of energy from the shield, and just a lightning bolt shoots out from it and strikes the drake, which is then incinerated.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get close enough. I think we need to head back. I don't think that's a go.
I love that Verity
I think
walks
that
out the
we
gate,
either need to.
sees that, nopes back into the gate.
Yeah, like I'm just saying that they're not. It would be
I've
like
got a plan,
standing
don't
in
worry.
front of a drawbridge of a besieged castle, saying that you went in for a meal. It's just not going to happen.
Don't worry.
At least that's
got a
my
plan.
feel.
I have a plan. Don't worry.
So what's the second
Okay.
highest building?
Sunhome. Which is like a 5-hour walk.
Somehow I'm just imagining like trying to walk into basically Area 51 being like, hey guys, can we crawl up your tallest tower?
No, you're supposed to Naruto run in.
Yeah, it's like anyway. He's like, we can totally just come up through their sewers. That's simple enough.
Or at least talk to the people that usually do collection and see if they still have any contact.
Right. Like that's easy enough. It's like
I feel like if we're
The
doing the
gr-
sewers,
the-
then maybe we should.
Golgari are our only hope in this situation. Like at least with the Izzet. It's like,
At least with the Izzet.
yes, at least with the Izzet.
I'm not so sure they'd help with the Gruul.
Yeah, no. It's like I'm not gonna impress any more than that on them. It's like,
Okay, so, y'all know what
They
y'all
can-
have to do to get there.
I'm depending on them to clean up bodies.
I mean, there's a chance they'd loan a few undead on the off chance that they turned into even more undead, but that's a long shot.
Well, the other thing is,
Look,
who's in
look.
charge of cleaning up all this mess?
Well, you know what?
Is it not the
us.
Golgari?
Not the building mess and stuff, just the bodies.
Okay.
Yeah, look. The point is, that's not our problem. It's like, our problem is getting into that building. It's like, that's it. It's like,
Now, see,
Rail,
being
can
an
you roll
easy
me a
building-
d4, please?
Yes, I can.
I'm kind of thinking that since
Fine one.
it invented the underground rail system,
That's a
they may have.
That's a what?
Oh dear.
they invented the rail system, but they didn't invent the underground.
What number did you roll, Rail?
4.
4? Okay. So I'm going to need a second to set this up. I'm going to go ahead and transition y'all.
Oh dear.
Because y'all have been
I think
standing
you
outside the
talk-
gate talking. Go ahead
What? Wait, we didn't go back in?
Whoops.
No?
Isn't that what
Whoops.
I said?
You said you
Well-
did, so that means you weren't talking to us then.
and go ahead and place your oh wow, that is a lot bigger than it's supposed to be. Really? Roll 20. You're
But I mean, you
wonderful.
wouldn't have been looking at the shield and stuff from in there. Like,
Yeah, you can't. From the inside of the AppleOak, nothing is visible. They are very much specifically set up for privacy.
Yeah, it's definitely a bunker-looking thing. It's like
1, 2,
a bunker with like a tree coming out of the top of it. You know.
3, 4,
There we go.
5.
I'm gonna say I'm like behind.
6, 7, 8.
I'd be kind
9,
of in the middle talking to y'all.
10, 11,
I swear to God, it's like
12,
if we managed 40 of these fuckers.
13,
Oh dear.
14, 15. So as y'all are standing outside debating the path and the direction and methodology, you hear this rattling, yelling, clashing sound as a group of 15 people in like there's some humans, there's some goblins, there's even a half-elf or two, all dressed in like really ragged clothes with like bone piercings and like spiked hairs, coming down the roadway towards y'all, clearly with the intention of like, you know, making an attack on the AppleOak again. Everyone, please place your things, and then we will need to make an initiative roll. I need to
Oh, dear.
place. My brain just shut off on me. Sorry.
Just in case, I'll roll extra for. I'll roll separate for Watcher.
And there's Reeves' token.
And this is why we don't stand around talking.
That's the obvious
Let
thing.
the-
It's like, so why did you
Let the
guys
record
stand
show.
around?
I said,
This-
okay,
this is
let's
why we
close
sit
the
around.
gates and get
Oh.
back. But
This is why
if
we
you
sit
didn't
around
do
talking
that, then
in an
that's...
inn with beers like a normal person.
Okay, so please roll initiative.
All right.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oof. That is an 9.
Okay. So did anyone roll
Ah,
higher
my
than a
God.
20? Okay. Did anyone roll from a 15 to a 20?
Watcher got a 19, and I got a 15.
Okay.
the Watcher's first action is probably going to be hiding and clinging to my cloak.
Did anyone roll from a 10 to a 15?
12.
Okay, so that's Grigum, then Reeve. Did anyone roll from a 5 to a 10?
That would be me. 9.
10.
Okay, 10. So, Reeve and Fairdeer. Kagax after Fairdeer. Rail. And the mob rolled a 4.
Ooh.
So they go
Man,
last.
I felt bad about that.
Look, they've been plundering and stuff like that. Okay, they're not a trained army.
Well, they weren't watching for you. They're just like coming down looking for stuff to loot and planning to throw rocks at the AppleOak. All right. So Watcher is up first. Watcher does not have a token on the map, so I'm assuming he is hiding under Ingrid's cloak.
Yes. Watcher is indeed doing that for his turn.
Watcher flies up and casts Flare.
All right. So then it is now Ingrid's turn.
Okay, I would like to hex this middle one.
The exact center.
Yes, and I would like to hit that. I would like to hit that one with the Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Let me put.
I had partial cover doesn't count for me, so I should be able to.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. I'm going to just put this one for the hex, I guess. All right, go ahead and make your attack roll. And remember, you're level 5. I believe your Eldritch Blast does 2 blasts now.
Yeah, the first one was only 11, so that probably didn't hit.
11?
And then the second one, yeah.
Hold on. Let me see here.
For attack roll?
Yeah, my D&D Beyond is being laggy again. I'm going to just start writing all this stuff down. Okay, 11... Yeah, no, that misses. It kind
And
of
then
like
18.
18, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
A total of 13 with the hex damage.
Okay, so you point your hand at the middle figure. A beam of radiant purple energy lances through and just bores a hole straight through them as they collapse on the ground.
Oof.
I would like to be right here, and I'd like to say, come no further, or you'll get collected.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion roll. Or intimidation, actually.
Can it be
14.
with assistance?
You have to use an action to give advantage on things during combat. When it's, not combat and everyone is acting all at once, it's fine. Within a initiative system, there's kind of a regulated movement.
Sure.
But 14.
14. Okay.
Would they not have advantage for slaying one of them outright? It's like,
I mean, these are
before making
Gruul.
that declaration. All right, fair enough. I was like,
Okay, so Grigum is up.
okay, so what I'm gonna do is make my come on. It's like full movement up. It's like, and then athletics push this front guy back, and it's like
As part of
into
your
the
attack.
body. It's like,
Okay.
yes.
Grigum's getting stuck right in.
Okay, make
Because
a...
I want to make a show of of force and basically just be like, back up.
All right, go ahead and make a athletics roll.
All right. Here we go.
That wasn't a good sound. It's a natural one. Did you roll a
With
one?
+4.
Oh, no.
So he rolled a 21. So Griggum runs up, picks like the biggest human trying to be intimidating, pushes him, and it's like, is more rubbing his thighs.
like I imagine it just being like, me with the staff, and I'm like,
Oh my god.
Alright, so
Griggum is now Daffy Duck.
okay, so trying to push is part of an attack roll, so you have one more attack since you have the extra attack feature.
it's like, I'm about to Krillin this. Next one's going to be a 20, I bet.
Yeah, good luck.
So here we go. I was like, better. So
Better,
how's
good.
how does a 17 do you?
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. It's like, oh no, wait, I'm using the wrong die. He's like, keep forgetting I two-handing this right now. He's like, so that's a 9. He's like,
9.
and then I'm spending a key point. Yeah, he's like,
Okay.
I'll be spending a key point for. He's like,
Flurry?
flurry. Yeah, I had to stop a moment because I realized, oh wait, I have stunning strike. And he's like, but do I want to use that on this guy? It's like, he seems like it's like a mook. It's like, I think I would want to save stunning strike on something less so. It's like, so hang on, I'll roll like both of my attacks. It's not advantage. 2 attacks. So we apparently have 2 12s, which plus plus 8 on both of them, so 2 20s total.
Roll damage.
Okay. I'll go with these. Like, oh no, wait! I've upgraded to D6s. It's like,
Monk grade.
oh boy! Like, we got ourselves 6 4, which is a 10 plus 8, 18. It's like
18? Okay, so
Yeah.
Griggum kind of runs up, pushes the guy, has no effect, slams the staff into the kneecap, and then as the guy like goes down and clutches his knees, gives him a double punch into the throat, the guy just collapses on the ground.
Okay.
Fairdeer, you and Rail are up.
Two shots to kill.
You and Reeve are up. You could go first, though.
Okay. I'm going to shoot an arrow at, I guess, this one.
Okay.
You see that?
Yep.
The one to the left of Griggum, I believe.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. That is a... Sorry. That's a... Wow. Okay, 19 to hit.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage. I'm assuming this is using the repeating crossbow?
This is the arrows because it's too far for the repeating.
Oh, yeah, it
I
is.
believe.
Okay, so you're using your longbow.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Seven, 10.
10. Arrow shoots into the thing's throat. He like and falls down. I believe you have another attack that you can take because I don't think the longbow has the loading feature.
Nope. So I'll probably do the one right behind him.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, that's gonna be like a 25 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
And that's gonna be a 9
9
damage.
Like, as the first one falls, you pull out the second, knock it, shot. The thing lodges into the guy's chest. He's like, oh! He slumps a little, but he doesn't go down.
Okay.
Are you doing anything with Kay? Or are you going to keep him back for this?
Trying to think. I don't think he can actually move. Well, okay. Let's see. He's gonna be like on Ingrid.
Okay,
I
so
think.
you send him to go and protect
Just
Ingrid?
move him up. Yeah, basically.
Okay, so you point, stay with her, and he like and lopes off after Ingrid. Reeve is up. Let me check his list. Oh right, he had a long rest, so he got those back. Come on. Let's see here now. $60 feet.
Yeah, I think he's got some AoE, right?
2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35,
Targets would
40,
quit dying. I would have some
50.
too.
50. So, Reeve is going to move up to the crossroads. He's like, okay, let's make some noise. He kind of shakes his hands out a bit. He looks over at the group, sees... Let's see here. What is the area?
When he shakes his hands out a bit, are you thinking like... like jazz hands?
He's like... You know, like, I'm about to
more,
start
more
bowling.
like the water flick.
Yeah.
No, like...
Okay, so...
Yeah, like the
okay.
there's no paper towels in the dispenser.
So he has a 10-foot
That
range.
motion.
See, I'll took out the center, so he's gonna aim at the one that Fairdeer shot that didn't go down. He extends his arm, snaps his finger, and there's this boom sound that rolls off of him. Let's see this. And is a 10-foot area, so that's 5, 10. So these guys all have to make a Constitution saving throw. And I'm just going to do that as a group because I don't want to make 7 rolls. That is a 6. That is a hard fail. And they take
Use the false Reeve.
3d8 thunder damage. Do I have enough 8s? I need one more 8. Hold on. So yeah, he used Shatter.
Awesome.
Nice.
4,
Right.
7,
That's some perforated eardrums
8,
right
9,
there.
10, 11. 11. So there's like that. Whoa! Like the arrow that was sticking out of the dude. That Fairdeer shot literally just shatters, and all of them just like collapse in pain. Because 3d8 is brutal at their level.
I would think so.
So let me go ahead and mark all this. K is shadowing Ingrid. So he's just going to stay by her but take the dodge action. So if anything attacks him, he will have... they will have disadvantage on the attacks. That brings you up, Rail.
Alright. Let's see. So there's 6 of them left.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
None of them... yeah, none of them are injured.
None of them have been hit.
I am going to move up, speak, and then ready an act.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see how far this is. That's 30 feet. Next to Reeve. I'm going to say... So, this hasn't gone as well as you'd all hoped. You don't want this. You want looting and drinking. Leave and we'll let you live. And I'm going to ready an action if any of them takes a step anywhere in my direction. Toll the dead.
Okay. Let's see here. Go ahead and make an intimidation roll.
Alright. Oh, they're not my best roll. Roll high. Oof, that's a 9.
9? Okay.
Not my strong suit.
No worries. Okay. So, now it is the remaining mob's turn. So, first I need to check something. That is a no. They are routed. The remaining people, like, just turn and start fleeing. So, they are all going to use their action, their bonus action, and their movement to run... What is their distance again?
Not fast.
Away.
They run 90 feet. Oh, wait, no. They can only do it towards a hostile creature they can see. So they would have to be attacked. So they run 60 feet per turn. Alright, so they are taking off. They are 60 feet down the road at this point. Are y'all going to be trying to pursue?
Gruul is just going to shout to one of the goblins. Tell your mother I said hello. Your pasta is great. He's like...
I could still hit them, but since I actually told them to leave too, I feel like I shouldn't. So, I'm gonna go over and raise one of them.
Okay. As a ghoul, or not a ghoul, as a zombie?
Yes,
Okay.
and I should probably pull up zombie stats.
I will just reuse the ghoul token.
I was about to say, well, you got your dead Gruul.
Yeah, would y'all help me pull
Yeah.
these all into a building to reserve them right here? You know, in case we need them.
Alright.
And
We could even, take a break and get a couple more.
I'm going to
I
transition
feel like
y'all
we
back
need
to
to
the
get
map.
inside the wall and close the gate, since that's when gates are useful.
Well, there's a building right here. We could just go
Yeah,
in
but the
the
gate
building.
is still wide open.
They're not going to want me
no.
to take the zombies in there, or the dead
No.
ones.
The
No, I don't
Selesnya
think the
have,
gate is still wide open.
the Selesnya have closed the gate behind you. Like,
Okay.
yeah, y'all were like,
As you
okay,
would
we're
expect
heading out. Walked outside the gate,
Yeah.
stopped to talk for about 40 minutes, stared up at a shield, and then a bunch of Gruul wandered by and attacked you. Because y'all were staying around talking in the middle of a literal war zone.
Okay.
So how about we move these bodies and then take a short break, and then we head off in the direction.
I was thinking, we were talking about disguising ourselves. We have a whole bunch of dead Gruul.
And we could do that on a short break. once we've hit the bodies and got inside a building.
Look, all I'm
I
saying
think-
is that
All right, but we are burning down. But
Well, it's
We're
going to take you an
burning what,
hour to
moonlight?
disguise everyone anyway.
It's getting on close to 1 at this point. Y'all have spent a lot of time talking today.
yes, it's like we need to get moving, people. Come on, what's the problem? We just head to the guild hall. We get underground. We get into contact with people who probably still have ways of getting in. It's like it's no
While
big
we're
deal.
talking, Ingrid's dragging them into the building. Just while we're talking. That's
Make
what
a-
she's doing.
Okay, I need a... I'm
Here,
going
Kay,
to
help me
need
pull
a
this one.
strength check to represent dragging them, and a sleight of hand check to represent breaking into the building.
Okay, so let's do a strength check first.
I feel bad for
It's not
these
going to be
people.
good.
They're going to come home and find a bunch of dead Gruul in their living room.
The strength check is a no-go unless Kay's
Oh my
helping.
God.
That is entirely up to Faradir if Kay is helping.
Here, I'll cast guidance on her.
Okay.
Roll a D100 for me,
I
Rael.
guess.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm about to make an executive decision here.
We're
as
not in that darn thing anymore.
Okay, with Kay's help and guidance, then that part's a go.
Guidance.
So, with the divine sense of knowledge flowing from Rael, you figure out, oh, lift front with the legs to drag corpses into a stranger's house.
Okay, so now I need a sleight of hand, right?
Yeah. Just to represent, opening the door, popping a window, whatever.
24.
Yeah, you have no problem breaking into the stranger's house and storing
Ingrid has
bodies.
no problem breaking into strangers' houses and storing bodies. It's a very accurate statement.
It
I
takes,
mean, to be fair, we've done it before.
it takes about 20 minutes. You have an undead to help you as well, so there's
That's true. That's true.
And drags his former comrades behind him into the place. Okay, so at this point, y'all are getting close to 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. Let's actually
You
get.
said it
need
took
to
20
start-
minutes, though?
About 20-30 minutes to haul
Okay,
all the
so-
bodies in there after you get into it.
Okay.
Okay, I think we probably want to move at a semi-stealthy pace. Sort of.
Is that the check you're going to use to help towards getting these 4 successes I told y'all about 15 minutes ago that y'all needed?
yes, it's like
Sure.
Okay, so for the first leg of this journey, Faradir kind of leads the group, keeping to the stealthy shadows and alleyways. Go ahead and make your roll.
Is this is just a straight roll?
Make a stealth check.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a natural 20 for a 25.
Okay, that counts as 2 successes toward this, so y'all only need another 2 successes. Ingrid, what are you doing
Just need another natural 20.
What are you doing to help the group get to the Nivix Guild Hall without another encounter?
I'm having Watcher, because he's small, cling to sides of buildings and spy ahead. And I'm having the girl zombie walk in a profile that it would block part of our view.
Okay, so make a perception check with advantage since Watcher is the one doing it.
Natural 20 for 23.
Are you serious?
I got a 20 and a 1, so I feel like that's very fair.
Yeah, and to
Actually.
be fair, we're not trying to sneak around like Metal Gear Solid guards. We're just trying to avoid like looters, basically.
Okay,
I mean, what's
That's
the
fair.
difference?
That's fair.
okay, that is
Considering,
beautiful. It's like
considering the perception range of Metal Gear Solid guards, and like I don't think there's really that much. of a
What was that noise?
okay.
What was that?
Between Faradir helping y'all with the stealth and Watchers keeping an eye out for incoming, y'all managed to avoid several. Really, come on. Hold on, it's giving me trouble with the
Okay.
transition.
It's a very important question. What's the zombie's name?
Frederick.
Jeff.
Ray Charles. Wait, why did I say Ray Charles?
Because it's one of the rays on the beholder tank.
That may be it. Anyway, even with the zombie following along, between Fairdeer and Ingrid, y'all managed to navigate all the way to the Nivix Guild Hall without much of an issue. You see as you approach large metal vehicles with cylinder protrusions from the top that are occasionally swiveling around and pointing at different locations. There's occasionally a boom sound as a plume of fire bursts from one, and then a ways away the side of a building explodes. Goblins and humans are running from each of the vehicles, making adjustments, with a Videlkin overseer standing not too far away in bright red and blue robes with a medallion hanging from her chest. They are outside the shield.
Okay, history check on that Videlk.
Go ahead.
Or just actually, this, I don't know what this would be, like a perception, making sure this is not, in fact,
Money is
Corral.
on them being Azurus.
How about an insight check on the best way to approach an Is It Captain?
Okay, go ahead and make an insight check.
Only an 8.
So
I shouldn't have probably rolled the same one that gave me a 1 a minute ago.
You can just swear like an engineer, and they'll be like, it's one of ours.
yeah. So with the Is It, they are either don't give a damn about formalities at all, or are very tied into formalities. Because you rolled an 8.
Yeah, I mean, I know all about Is It. I see him in the tunnels all the time. It's cool.
So that's a total of 20 perception to make sure this Vidalkin is not, in fact, Corral in a disguise.
You kind of stop and watch her, and you notice that most Is-Its have these big bulky machines that they carry around, the Mizium apparatus. Instead of carrying around some big bulky thing, you notice she has tracing lines of metal under her skin, and these glowing electrical filled orbs on the back of her hands. And when you see her turn to talk to someone, you see a third energy globe at the base of her skull as well.
So probably not Corral.
Okay, alright. I've got this. And I just pop out and start walking over, pulling out my plane, badge thing that I've been using as a badge, as well as insignia to say hey, I'm Selesnya as well. I'm not part of the Gruul. That's an important distinction.
Make a persuasion check for me, just to give a non-threatening air.
Alright, it's good thing I have that trained.
Can I
20 for 23.
Hey,
There, as you approach, there's a couple shouts, and two of the large vehicles, their metal cylinders point directly towards you, but no one
Just
fires.
Yeah.
They stop and watch you approach. The Videlkin finishing up talking to one of the humans, who runs off to go to one of the metal vehicles, and she walks down towards you. So, this is a testing area. Why are you here?
Brigham, Second Side Agency. He's me and my group here are trying to get us handle what the situation is in between all the different, guild holdings right now. He's trying to see if we can form some sort of lines of communication in attempt to push back the Gruul.
That is not our job. We
would provide testing subjects for you. Is that interesting for you?
She kind of stomps, smiles a little, and holds out her hand. Kimmeister Kretel.
Very but I already told you that. It's like, the fact of the matter is that some troops probably are going to need bigger firepower. It's like, on top of that, you also have people to shoot at. It's like, I'm sure you have got plenty of that to deal with already. It's like,
Also animals, very big ones.
Yes.
We need something to take down the bigger ones, which we do, which is also another part of why we're here. It's like, your tower currently is one of 2 places tall enough for us to get a good view of the battlefield. I was like,
And you would want into the guild hall.
Yes.
if only to see what's going on and plan out a strategy, especially to get to the other guild halls. I was like,
I am sorry, but the lightning shield does not allow anyone in or out. I can tell you some of the information that I have, though.
If you're
that
able
would
to
be
give
very
it to us,
appreciated.
So did you approach with them, Fair Dear?
Yeah. Pretty much, well, under the assumption that there's probably not too many Gruul that look like me.
There are very few of anything that look like you. One of y'all make
Exactly.
an investigation roll. Just
I
to
can
check
do that.
something.
So for me,
Please,
that's going to be
anyone
a
else?
20.
20?
That is a 16.
Okay, 20.
16 on investigation.
Okay. So,
I think you're muted.
me?
Oh, now it's working. Okay. Maybe a glitch.
Yeah, I think sometimes your audio cuts out.
Oh,
Just
that's weird.
It's the way of Discord.
She kind of folds her hands together, and you notice that so the metal tracings that Faraday had pointed out earlier continue like along her arm. So, if there is actually better views, the Boros airships.
Right.
If you could get
That's
to one of
what
those, them and the aerial troops have been keeping the drakes contained into the precinct.
Yeah, that was our second stop if things didn't work out here. But you were closer from the monastery further down the road. It's like,
Okay.
also, you seem to have a very good control over the drakes in the area. I kind of point at the lightning shield.
Only
Yes,
if
but
they come close to the lightning shield.
yeah, I was just
Yeah.
about to point that out. Their defense is stationary. The
Even
Boros
so,
actually
very effective.
There are 3 encampments of the Gruul that we are aware of in the precinct.
here, and I pull out
Oh,
the map. I guess we have. And
We do not know their
Okay.
exact locations. We are
Yeah, if you
simply
could just-
aware of their.
direction.
all right, but if you know of any locations of interest, nonetheless, it would help fill out our blank map so far.
I can tell you that several rage boars have been seen moving through the Send Grove area, particularly in the south. So we suspect that there is an encampment near there.
Well, we definitely know that the Rakdos are down there. Maybe we can rally them up to start causing some chaos on that. And
That's what they're good at.
And I hate to give you some bad news, but our subtram system has been temporarily disabled to prevent the Gruul from using it to move outside of the precinct.
well, that's to be expected.
Of course it
As
has.
long as the book goblin's still active.
And how are your defenses underground, nonetheless? I wouldn't think that your cage extended below ground. Now, did it?
The lightning shield, no, it stops at ground level, but we have the underground areas electrified and warded.
All right, good to know. All right, and we probably should have some means of keeping contact with you so that we can better coordinate this. Do you have any means of longer range communication that we can take to other guild halls?
I can provide you with a sending stone. She stops a couple times and looks over at Ingrid and makes a beckoning gesture.
Okay, she'll tap the zombie to stay there and then approach where Fairdeer and Griggum are.
Young lady, are you aware that you are under the effects of a magic spell?
I am under the effects of at least 2 at the moment.
Do you know the source of these spells? And she kind of looks at the rest of the group.
It turns out that even 1,000-year-old underground cities still have old is it magic zones?
May I?
Sure.
She kind of puts a hand on Ingrid's forehead, and the little energy globe on the back of her palm sparks a few times. And there is a second where nothing happens, and then the magical effect that Ingrid has been operating under is dispelled, and she returns to her proper age.
And height?
Yes.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure that a young girl was not wandering the streets with 3 strange men in the middle of a Gruul incursion. And anyway, she kind of reaches through her robes and pulls out a stone disc about maybe 3 inches wide that has just a etching of a person talking. She's like, this is my personal sending stone. I will lend it to you. You can use this to contact me once per day.
Right. He's like, thank you. He's like, we'll be sure to return it. He's like,
So, appreciated.
now, and I take it and kind of just pocket it within the folds of my robe. He's like,
all right, go ahead and mark down that you have Kretel's sending stone. Ketrel, sorry. Katrille.
Yeah. So under the mop bucket, we have the Ketrel. That's K
K-A-T
A-T
R-I
R-I
L-L-E.
L-L-E. Ketrel sending stone 1 per day. Gotcha. It's like,
She looks around. We only have the burst fires, and I cannot lend them to you. They require quite extensive training to use. But if you signal us and tell us which direction you need us to move in, we will be able to facilitate some testing.
Do you know what the range of those things are?
Are you asking her?
Yes.
They max out at 1,300 feet. But
if you don't care what-
generally, we try to keep the range under 500.
Fair enough.
I assume if you don't care what you're hitting, you could probably get it further, but... Look, I've got a couple of cousins that are part of the Is It Guild. I know how this stuff works occasionally. Not all the time. He's like,
We at least know the end effect, if not so much the means.
Alright.
This doesn't look.
There is a moment of quiet, then it's some shouting, and you see from around the corner 2 10-foot tall beings and corpulent massively overweight beings wearing, you're hoping something, because their guts are just hanging down over their front so far, come lumbering down the street, dragging clubs behind them. There's a shout from the assembled Izzet, and two of the burst fires that were pointing at Griggum and point at the incoming figures, and it's like boom, boom, and these massive explosions rock the area. The two giants rock back on their heels and then quickly duck down like an alleyway to get out of the line of sight.
Would you like some help with this, or I was like,
He's like, no, we
all right, okay.
have different shells to test anyway. They seem to be mildly resistant to the fire. We will then try ice.
Like, I probably would suggest any electricity you've got, because like, from what I've understood, from what I understand of the physical body, like that tends to mess up their muscles the most. It's like,
The shock shells are on our rotation to test, yes.
yeah. I feel that those will be a lot more effective if these are actually still living beings.
Would any of you like to try firing one under supervision first?
I think we'll pass for today.
Yay.
She kind of
Okay, never
smiles
mind.
at Faraday's like,
Another time.
okay, just climb on up. There's a hatch in the top.
Ingrid's taking a break while they talk and do the gunfire,
Okay.
in case she gets a long enough break.
So, inside the burst fire is a single seat with an array of buttons.
Like, if
and-
this was an FTS, this is the
Oh dear.
10-minute, get in a turn and shoot stuff moment.
Camster points this out.
Obligatory turret shooting set.
So the center dial controls the angle of the direction as well as the up and down angle. It's
Okay.
simple globe, left, right, up, down, back, forth. The buttons along the top control which indicate which shell is to be loaded from the housing system. We currently have fire, ice, and shock shells set. And she points
Okay.
to 3 emblems. It's just pick a building and go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna pick the building that they ducked under
Alright?
into.
So you kind of like twist the thing, and it's weird because you're not moving, but you feel the housing rotating around you, and you can kind of see out of the little slit in front. So the visual will be worked on in next iterations. But go ahead and make an attack roll,
Okay.
Good
and
luck.
add +8.
Oof, that's gonna be well, 17.
17.
That's not that bad.
Go ahead and roll 10d10. And which one are you using?
Probably fire.
Okay.
10d10. Okay. Sure. Oh, there we go.
I hate to say it, but I'll actually be right back.
Okay.
6 1 5 8 4 9 and wait, where am I at in my list? I do a lot of damage.
It's like the whole thing shakes around you for a second, then there's that deep boom sound, and then just the side of the building explodes in a shower of rubble and stuff, and you can see like the joisting and some of the stuff that's inside that was left inside is on fire and burning.
That's
I hope nobody was in that building.
Probably not.
No sign of the giants.
No, they basically got a glancing blow and it's like, oh, fuck this shit, no.
Yeah, fair. Okay, I'm going to go out.
He says, smiles, let's add the grouping on. So, yes, just simply relay coordinates and timetables through the stone, and we will be happy to test.
Okay. Sounds good. I mean, Faraday looks like very, very pleased, like little kid, like in a toy store, kind of. Very happy.
This is why the guilds need to work together more often.
So I'm going to transition y'all back to the map, so y'all can plot your next movement.
All right.
Okay.
Not so much for explosions, but to each their own.
And Ingrid's going to kind of take a backseat on navigating and kind of walk slower and chill in case she can finish her break.
Okay.
And
so y'all are currently outside the Nivix Guild Hall.
yeah, Brigham is going to start uncorking the wine and just like,
Make a Constitution check.
okay. He's like, 12.
It's
wine.
mild and fruity with a subtle hint of tobacco and oak.
There's going to be a sip over the course of the journey kind of thing. It's like,
all right, so y'all are at the Nivix Guild Hall. Where are y'all heading for next?
Sorry, so what's the black and white one? Is that
That is the Sanctum of the Bright Soul.
Okay, and this one?
That is the Demir Postal Hub.
Okay.
The Mere Postal Hub probably would
and
help establishing communication lines, but it's like, go ahead.
While she could not indicate where the encampment is in the Barrow and Hill neighborhood, she did indicate that there is heavy rage war activity in this area of Singrove, and that is where they suspect the encampment to be.
I mean, do we need to go all the way to the Demir area for information, or can we try an open broadcast and see if there's anyone around?
Well, I mean, how can we open
broadcast on what?
Yeah.
We have the open broadcast feature on our, and she points to the ear things.
We do?
What?
As an action, you can let people hear everything that you hear for, I think, 1 hour with the Spy's Murmur.
Okay.
Let me go read the item again in case I'm remembering it wrong. Because he told us that there was like a broadcast feature for like people could hear and relay information to him if we were far away. Like an open channel.
It's less of
it's not on the item though.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's
what this is that there is, when y'all were given those and y'all were sent down to Farkeep, he had someone stationed nearby that was receiving any messages or telemetry that y'all sent out. But that person was only stationed in the Farkeep area. You don't know if there's someone stationed here.
Yeah.
I mean, while we're walking, it could be worth checking.
But yeah, the thing is that we have to make, again, we have another choice here. Here, we could probably find a means of getting clearer lines of communication set up, or at least start to. But again, this is a postal service, and in character, I know vaguely of what the Jameer do. I'm not going to assume what they can do, what the extent of what they can do. But I understand.
Well, I mean, it's public knowledge that they do reporting and stuff like that.
They're librarians.
They're librarians, merchants, postal workers, news reporters. Anything that deals with information services falls under the Demir banner.
Yeah.
So yeah, the problem is that it's going to be generally speaking, harder to get them on board with any idea, because it's hard to, like, what bargaining chips do we have to get them on board? It's like,
You
not
have
just
a
hunker down.
favor and a question each.
Do we? It's like,
We have
Also,
one
I think
favor
that it
between
would be
us,
in
yes.
Asham promised the
The
group of y'all
Demirs.
one favor and promised to answer any one
right.
question for each of y'all.
Not to mention the
What
fact that I think it would be in the
favor is
Demir's
this?
best interest if the Gruul were not attacking.
yeah, but hey, that is a thing that they probably are dealing with already. It's like,
Right. And I feel like, hey, could we use you to help coordinate everybody so that there is no more attacking?
Well, I mean, our
be a
particular
strong proposition.
facilitator is currently being hired by the Guild Pack office, so he might be more lenient of help. I don't know.
I just feel like that shouldn't be our
true, that's
favor
true, that's true.
because
Worst
I mean,
worst thing we can do is there's nothing to lose, but
worst they can do is say no, right?
I don't think anyone
Alternative.
actually in the conversation suggested using the favor so far.
No, I was just informing y'all
Okay.
that y'all still have a favor and questions.
Okay.
okay.
I think that would probably be a good stop to make. I don't know.
problem is that will then make it longer for us to get down to here. It's like, and then start.
You guys
trying
want to
figure out
hide in a bombed out building while we're talking this time?
Yeah,
I mean, we're right next to the guild hall, which currently
Okay.
has.
yeah, that's true.
Y'all are in a
I mean,
much
they're-
safer position at the Nivix in the
Right.
test facility.
Like the only risk we
It's
have.
much safer behind the cannons than in front.
The only risk we have is the inconvenience of the cannons occasionally going off mid-conversation.
And they are occasionally
And
What?
they're hearing every word we say, but
as they make adjustments and tests and stuff like that.
So
All right.
the big thing is, do we want to range out that far, like before heading back down and trying to make our push, or like?
well, the
I
thing
mean-
is that either we go down to Rakdos and back to Demir, or to Demir back to Rakdos. If we're going to include the Demir at all, we're going to have a long trip either way.
I mean, if you're going to go as far as the Demir, you might as well go to the Orzhov afterwards. I have a few reservations about that, but
What do we ask the Orzhov for?
As to what?
Not to put us in debt. Other than that, I don't know.
oh, we check back in. We tell them that we have successfully stopped them having to search money for the coin because it's not on this plane. And then we go from there as far as assistance.
I think that's something we should save for after this chaos.
I think that's something you should
think
say
if we
over
get
the
there-
spies murmur because we're right in front of a guild hall.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a good point.
All I said was the coin. I didn't say which one or anything.
If we check it in
I
now,
think we should stop talking
then
about it.
I doubt it'll be the
Yes.
most important thing
we
on
need
there.
to- Yeah. Like,
And I send that over the spies murmur directly to her. I'm not saying that aloud.
Well,
Um,
if you have
anyways,
to deliver bad news, do it when they're distracted.
Yeah, bad news. We couldn't find the coin. Worse news. This.
I think Fairder's still over the murmur. Since he was saying his
Yeah,
I
I'm
like-
just wildly
I was about to
gesturing.
say, I like the idea that he's doing the gestures while he's talking telepathically.
He totally is.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It's like. I'd say let's worry about the Orzhov later for right now. Like, we need to focus on Demir or the Rakdos. Like, first.
I think we need to do
You need to
Demir,
involve.
then go down to Orzhov, and then go down to Rakdos.
All right. It's like, and honestly, I'm going to agree for the time being. Like, once we get to Demir, we'll see what the situation there is, and if we feel we still need to get to the Orzhov, like, then we'll do so. It's like,
Yeah, also the Demir may have the ability to send messages
Right. It's
that
like,
we don't. So we may not have to go to everybody physically.
I mean, the only ones that we probably need to actually physically go to would be the ones stationed by the Sun Home, label. It's like,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like we probably need to get off a message that we are coming before just showing up. Sunhome. Because I don't feel like going in there when they're all kill everything on sight would be a good idea.
To be fair, it's like they are also disciplined soldiers. It's like they probably have much better friend and foe identification than is it. It's like,
Yes, but I think that we should probably send them a message that we are coming before we actually.
If we can,
get
we
there.
will. If not,
Yes.
we'll have to risk it. It's like,
Sunhome is
See, that might
also probably your best bet for getting up to the Boros skyship to get a overview of the whole area.
right. It's like,
Yeah.
so we're going to have to like.
Yeah, I just think that getting to the Demir first can possibly give us a lot of things.
Yeah, that'll lay the groundwork
we
for
could skip.
communication. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Something
Then
you'll
the
need to
Boros
keep in
can-
mind for this is the longer the incursion goes on, the more difficult it is going to be to move around without encountering other things.
Yeah. Let's go to Demir.
which is why I wanted to go to. Which is why I figured going to Rakdos would be also a viable thing, because we can just start making a push, like physically, like, lessen up the issues that are coming up. Like,
All right.
I think we just kind of watching them argue about it and chilling.
we could use some input. It's like, do you think that if things get too heavy, we can just travel underground? Like, what's the?
I mean,
Brigham, you have a coin.
it's probably a
Flip coin.
possibility. They do tend to block off some entrances and stuff, but they tend to leave a guard over an entrance, so maybe.
Y'all did see several sections of the roadway which had collapsed into the sewers. Which tells you that the sewers may not necessarily be all accessible or all stable.
Okay, well, I'd say we'll flip a coin on this. Since like, let's
I
chaos
thought
be
you were
our-
going to call an official coin vote.
No, that's. I have a box for that. And it's like, I have a box for that, and I got the coin is for a different thing altogether. It's like,
I feel like we're going to
Alright.
be level 10 before we do an
So-
official vote.
I mean, let's be honest, we are working pretty well together. Like, even with the
Yeah.
arguing, he's like,
I just feel like either way, standing around helps nothing.
all right.
So
So he's like,
let's just.
going up to Demir, his heads, going down to the Rakdos' tail.
Yeah, let's see.
Heads, we're heading to Demir.
Okay.
Okay.
Onward.
Short rest.
And before you say anything, no, I was like, I did not Samurai Champloo this.
I don't care.
That was the worst.
I just felt
that was
like
the
we needed.
worst ending. It's like, I felt like, okay, it was a little hilarious, and I was suspecting from the start, but nonetheless, I was like, what a thing to end on.
Okay, so
And I
Ingrid
can
was...
totally do that with.
Oh, go ahead.
And I can totally do that with my coin. I can change the faces. I want.
So, it is about almost 4 o'clock now. Ingrid is asking for a short break.
Oh, no, I was saying am I, because I declared I was doing it while he was doing weapons firing and then us talking.
Yeah, you've
And then-
had a short rest.
But also, this may be a strategic place for us to call intermission.
Got about 15 minutes or so till we hit the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Okay,
Let's get to the dinner.
so, same thing as before. You have to accrue a number of successes before you accrue a number of failures. The thing is that now y'all need to acquire 5 successes before you get 3 failures.
All right. It's like, what skill checks do we need for this?
Whatever skill or ability check you want to use to try and help your group navigate from the Nivix Guild Hall to the Demir Postal Hub.
part of me
I'm
wants
going
to try to
stealth.
add. Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's going to be a
What are you
20 to stealth.
Stealth?
Stealth.
Okay, so just like before, not a natural 20 though, right?
Right, 20
Okay.
total.
Okay. So, just like before, Faradir kind of helps with checking corners and keeping the group to shadows. Alright. Who's next?
I
Suppose-
do you want to go first,
something
or
I've
shall
actually
I?
thinking of doing for a bit. I'll cast Augury before we move on the next leg of the...
Okay.
Uh,
As a representation of using your magic of divination and stuff, make me just a straight wisdom roll.
Oof. Not perception?
I don't see how Augury saying yes, no, maybe.
You can do it like, should we
that
go
would be,
left?
9
19? Okay, so
for the straight wisdom.
So with the help of the cards and other general instinct and drawing knowledge from the world itself, Rel helps the group move past several obstacles that were close to collapsing or out of the way of a patrol that's coming down the area. Alright, that's 2 successes.
Now, I am considering using acrobatics to help the group parkour through particular obstacles.
Okay, go
It
ahead.
only works if you shout parkour.
Parkour!
Okay. Parkour. Especially if... Let me see the map again. Yeah, we definitely could, especially once we get up to 10th Street area, and we probably can drop down from below-ish, that kind of thing. Yeah, we definitely could get some shortcuts with parkour here. And +7, so... 15.
15? Okay, so Grigum leads the group up over several obstacles, helping jump from rooftop to rooftop in one point, and
Unless
just...
you could do some of the hand thing and just Resident Evil 6 people up walls.
Yep, there's one point where he kind of just leaps over a bench the rest of y'all walk around. Okay, who's next?
I guess that's me. Go with good old survival to look for stable building sections and low amounts of footprints.
Okay, go ahead.
11.
Okay. There's Ingrid kind of looks around, she doesn't see any footprints or anything like that. She leads into through a building to take a shortcut. There's a rumble, and I need everyone to make me a dexterity saving throw as the building starts collapsing on top of you.
Oh dear.
11.
Good luck, buddy. Ooh. 20...
What am I rolling?
Dexterity saving
Dexterity saving.
Alrighty. Yeah, I got this. Ooh, 24.
Don't forget to roll for K, please.
Good luck, good dog.
So, anyone who rolled higher than 10, you take 7 damage. Anyone who rolled lower than 10 takes 14 damage as bludgeoning damage as the building collapses around y'all and y'all dig your way out.
So you said 7?
Yeah.
If you made it?
It's not too much fun.
And we're at 3 successes, 1 failure.
Yep.
And
can I
after this,
do-
I'll go ahead and put on my ice armor.
Okay, that lasts
Can I
for
do-
an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You know what? I've been holding this in reserve. How many more successes do we need?
You need 2 more successes.
I will cast Pass Without Trace using one of my second level slots.
Y'all already used stealth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since you're
Not
expending a
so
spell
good.
slot for it, I'll go ahead and allow another stealth roll.
Okay.
But just do a
So
straight stealth
that's-
roll without the plus 10.
Let's see how it goes. That is a 20.
Alright, so
Not
after
natural.
digging your way out of the building, Rail weaves magic and you feel the shadows around you deepen and it's difficult to look directly at each other even knowing that each other is there. Alright, so y'all need 1 more.
If no one else has a suggestion, I have one.
Okay.
All I've got is athletics, but I'm willing to hear a better option. It's like,
I think that Rail and I could work together on a deception check using thaumaturgy and prestidigitation to make noise in a nearby area.
That sounds like a thing.
To kind of draw patrols off.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
literally, what was that noise? Okay.
I mean, thaumaturgy can pretty much cause the ground to shake. So it's like we can probably,
Or can create a noise.
And I have
that's the point.
yeah, so
And I could do sounds and stuff with
Okay, so
prestidigitation.
one of you make a deception roll with advantage.
whoever has the highest one, go for it.
I'm
Let's see.
trained in it. Do you want me to do it? I don't roll as good generally, though.
I have a +4 in deception. What's yours?
7.
Let's go with you then.
Okay, just warning though, I don't always roll good on. I rolled 2 7s
Bad rolls with
because.
a spice.
So 14.
So 14.
I have this thing where I tend to roll doubles on.
Do you have inspiration? It's like,
Bad rolls with the spice of life.
I don't have inspiration. We could have done.
If anyone
Guidance
has
maybe,
inspiration,
but
they
I
can
can't.
give you their inspiration.
well, I haven't gotten one all days. I mean, all game. So
I'm still 100%
Yeah,
sure I
I
gave
have-
You can
everyone
have mine.
inspiration.
I used mine.
You
well,
can
you've been
use
looking at
mine.
my sheet all, like for who knows how long now, and I've kept that
You
thing
have
blank.
my inspiration.
Alright, Zizva.
Hey, why don't you roll the last one? I'll guess I'll just roll. I've got a third d20. 16.
16? It looks like at first, like with the rumbling and the noise, that the patrols, like, they hear it and they stop and they start looking around and you think, oh god, no, they're aware people are here. And then they move into the area to investigate and leave a path clear to you to run the rest of the way through to the Demir Postal Hub.
Hooray! Hopefully it was worth it.
Alright.
So y'all arrive at the Demir Postal Hub. The area around here, it's patrolled by the Gruul, but as you get within a few streets of it, you notice that the destruction has dropped off. That there's like a few people actually in the area walking and talking like everything is normal. You watch as a Gruul patrol heads up the street towards y'all's location like they're coming to attack the place. They pass a building, there is a flash of light, and then all of a sudden they stop, turn around, and walk off in the other direction.
Hooray!
we're
We're in
familiar with
Diagon Alley.
If we're
Filthy
close enough,
muppets.
maybe we should try to message Asham now before we approach the boundary.
You are about maybe a block away from the Demir Postal Hub.
I think that's within our range.
Yeah, you're within a mile.
I mean, Rail, he's the one that sent you the equipment. Maybe you should contact him.
That is... yes. But just a note, it is just about...
You broke up
So I don't
throughout
know if
that
you
whole
want-
thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, that seems like a good idea, but also out of character, it is... and this seems like maybe a good...
Yeah, let's go ahead and take our break. Everyone, we're going to stretch our legs, get a quick snack. We will be back as quick as I can. I am not saying we'll be back in 15 minutes because there's every likelihood it won't be 15 minutes, and I don't want to disappoint people any more than I already do. So stay tuned. We will be back as quick as we can.
Be nice to yourself, GM.
Never.
Love you.
Some hot
Love you,
chocolate.
Jesus.
We'll be right back.
And we are back. Oh, wow. So, sorry about the stream interrupting there for a few seconds. Life. Chaos. Schoolwork. Although, no schoolwork this time. Does anyone else hear like a little tiny voice talking in the background?
I hear our wonderful Sirenscape music on Roll20.
Yeah, I'm just hearing the Sirenscape. Like,
I'm totally not
maybe
insane.
if I turn the sirens.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They're not saying anything that you need to worry about. Okay, so
I'm
y'all had
hearing anything.
it's okay. Y'all had just arrived at the Demir Postal Hub here. You good?
Technical.
You good? Do you need some water? I think she needs some water.
Please don't die. Death is not allowed. It's against the rules.
Yeah, we have different philosophies. Hi, welcome back.
Where I start coughing in the middle of drinking stuff. It's good.
Hooray.
Okay, so it looks like everything is back up and
When it
running.
happens at work.
So y'all had just arrived at the Demir Postal Hub. A group of Gruul that had been following behind y'all, that y'all had managed to outpace, though y'all did not notice them, hit what seemed to be something that triggered a flash of light, and they stopped, turned around, and walked off in the other direction. The area here looks pretty well maintained. There's some light damage, but nothing nearly as drastic as what has happened in the other areas. Since we're not actively using the map, I'm going to transition y'all back to the home screen.
It's like, and as a coincidence, you are 501 feet from the Mythics Guild Hall.
Yeah, right around there. So, anyway, the postal hub is before y'all, about maybe a block away. It's tall, sweeping marble columns and arches, looking relatively untouched. There's people not so much milling about. There are people moving around, but they're very quickly going about their business and returning to safety, it seems.
Yeah, and this flash of light thing is very reminiscent of our first coined foray, like talking out of character
Yes,
here.
it is.
So we know we know what's up, and we either are going to either brute force our way in or talk to someone to.
Y'all are already past it.
Oh, we're past it. Awesome. It's like,
Yeah, it didn't trigger when y'all went off. I mean, it didn't go off when y'all went through.
it didn't trigger when you all got off. Ooh, wow.
That is a different game.
I think we stopped on Rill being about to contact maybe Ashen.
Yep. I was going to try to get in touch with Ashen, but recruit the Demir to help us with this.
Okay, so are you going in, or are you reaching out to him through the Spice Murmur?
Let's try the Murmur. Go subtle first, and then we can walk in if.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure. So can I just kind of reach out specifically Asher, paging at?
Yeah.
Or Ashen? Sure.
Yeah.
Which was it again?
Asham.
Ashen. Okay.
Like Ash Ketchum, Asham.
Okay. So this is hope the day finds you well. We some friends of yours from the Second Sight Agency. We're hoping we could have a word.
There's a quiet moment before Corvino. I relayed information that you were to remain where you were and not come to the surface.
Yes, well, unfortunately, multiple threads have twisted. Staying where we were was not entirely tenable.
Did you bring the coin with you?
Sorry, what was that?
Did you bring the coin with you?
The coin is no longer available on this plane as far as we've been able to determine.
The iron coin is out of play. Okay, well, it's good to hear you are okay then. Come on in.
Do you have it? No. Well, fair enough.
Well, no one has
Understandable.
Well, they'll be happy enough that the coin is out of play. It's like,
yeah.
I'm
No one
assuming
needs
that
it,
this is relayed
hopefully.
from Rail to the others. Because the Spice Murmur is one-to-one communication.
Yeah.
Yes.
peer to peer, basically.
Alright, so yeah, let's all come in out of the, I don't know if cold is correct. What time of year is it?
This is the equivalent of June. So
It's
it's
coming out of
pretty
the
warm.
rain of what?
It's warm and rainy. Ha! I knew you would
Coming
put the
out of
hat
the
back
rain,
on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad hat.
It is a nice hat.
It is a good look for you.
The only hat I have without like some sort of logo that would be either commercial or considered identifying information. So
It's a
Do
dad
we need to
hat.
send you a hat?
I wouldn't mind one.
I have a hat.
It's kind of a dad hat. It looks good on him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all of my hats are such that I would have to wear them over my headset. they're pretty wide brimmed. Like, ooh, actually, I have one hat I probably could wear under the headset.
So y'all entering
Next.
the postal hub. It looks much the same as y'all entered before here. The central entryway has a desk before it. There are like a couple signs that maybe combat did happen in here, but not nearly as violent as has been happening outside. There's like a couple bends in one of the potted plants. There is a woman seen behind the desk. Kind of dusky, dark skin, very close cut on her hair. She looks up from her papers. Oh, yes, Mr. Bokum said to expect you Reese soon. Your chambers is ready for you. And she kind of gestures to the side.
Well, when in doubt, sweep.
So y'all head on through the doorway, and the there were already like several guards in there when you came here the first time, but now the number has doubled. There is like literally a guard next to each and every door. Each one of them that blank faceless with the hood up and the blue and black cloak. You head on down to the door that you had previously spoken with Asham in and go on in, I'm assuming?
I would like it noted that Frederick is outside playing dead because I did not bring him into the zone.
Okay.
He's just laying there.
Make performance check for your zombie, please.
Do I use my stats?
No, he's the one doing the performance.
Okay. I don't know what his performance is, but I got a 10, which is fairly average.
What is the charisma for a zombie?
Oh yeah, that's right. Zombie stats. Okay. -3.
So a 7. Okay. He looks pretty corpse-like.
I mean, it's kind of a role he's made for, though.
It's the role he was born to play.
Well, it's the role he died to play.
Yes, his second life.
As long as he doesn't start corpsing.
Boo. Boo.
Hey, one of us had to say it.
Thriller!
I just decided to throw myself on that grenade.
Okay. So you go on into the room. Asham is there behind the desk. He has a stack of paperwork that he is working on. He's wearing the same kind of cloak that y'all seen the other people wear. His dagger is off of his belt. Normally y'all see him, he has just a single dagger on a sheath on his belt. He has it on his desktop now as he's working. He looks inside. Come in. How are you?
Okay, how about yourself?
Oh, stuff to be filed, stuff to make note of.
Surviving is the...
Yes,
Yeah.
always.
So, at the moment, we're trying to deal with, or do you want to debrief about the, object?
Oh, we'll find out about it when you sleep.
Good to know. It's like,
Okay!
it's like,
Well, I admire the,
Efficiency.
Efficiency?
What you're looking for is efficiency.
Yes. Yes. Always to be... Yes. Well, basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to establish lines of communication with the local representatives of the guild halls. The general aim is to try to ward off this Gruul attack, and to get them back into the Red Wastes and out of the city proper.
That will be difficult. It's very hard to move from location to location. The Gruul are massing. Additionally, neither the Boros nor the Izzet guild leaders have been seen since this event began.
well, they aren't sitting still. Like,
That is a concern.
the local guild hall, however, has made itself pretty defensible at the moment. It's like they do have someone in charge, if not the guild leader. Like,
oh yes, the Izzet. They've been using this as an opportunity to test quite remarkable weapons. I am surprised at the effectiveness of them, considering the schematics.
well, currently they're more than willing, once we give them a proper area to set up and, target to aim at. It's like they're willing to lend some of those cannons. It's like, which kind of where I guess you all can help come in. It's like, maybe. It's like, we're mostly trying to figure out, how much information can we get about what's happening. It's like, we're planning to make a go at the Boros Legion area. See if we can get a hold of one of their, I guess, sky ships. It's like,
that's quite ambitious. I need one of y'all to just...
don't be impressed yet, because we're kind of probably using the Rakdos cut a path through to get to them.
Cat's paws are effective. I I can give you some information that could be of use.
All right.
Would be a
How appreciated.
Oh, I think I missed.
They, he said, "How appreciated." He's like,
I cannot tell you too much about what's going on in the different neighborhoods. So my scouts only have some information. The Boros have a primary encampment outside Sunhome that they are using to protect citizens that have been retreating there. A Odasun Glory Pelt has been placed in charge of that in the absence of other leadership. Let's see here now. If you do manage to make it to Sunhome and you're trying to reach the skyship, please be careful. Swarms of drakes have been patrolling the area.
we've been told that between the Izzet's shield and the skyships themselves, like that's been keeping that in check.
They're being contained to this area, but they are still fairly prevalent
Much
in the skies.
the area. Yeah.
If you are moving through the Barrow and Hill neighborhood much more, be careful. A large cat-like creature has been reported, has something in the neighborhood of 6 limbs and 4 eyes, and has been viciously attacking people. I recommend leaving the neighborhood as quickly as you can to avoid encountering it.
Noted. I was like, apart from that, I was like, yeah, I was like, that was very much like useful information. I was like,
I'm sure it was, and I am sure you will have useful information for me in return.
Certainly.
yes, I was like we most certainly have a later once this has been taken care of. Like, that said, I was like, again, creating a line of communication has been a difficult thing so far. It's like you only have couriers, right? It's like
we have couriers and a few messaging services to relay information to our printers. We don't particularly maintain lines of communication with the other guilds. It's more we report on them. I could have you talk to a couple of the reporters, maybe?
maybe. It's like we definitely probably like after this, we need to consider like means of communication, like emergency communication, like times like this. It's like because all of us just throwing means at this without coordination is is what's making this last so long.
Inefficient.
Yes.
Yes. So, is there any reporters that would be around Sunhome? Because basically, we feel like just showing up to the Boros Legion would not be met well without some sort of indication that we're coming. In the
I do have a reporter. Oh, go ahead.
This is a clarification out of character. Point of order, do we remember, like, do we know from the book Aesop's past history-ish? Is that canon now?
Oh, yeah, I keep on meaning to forgetting to, See, the thing is that the book is set pretty far back, and the Asoph that's detailed in that book is nothing like the Asoph that y'all met.
Yeah, but, like, would we know prior connections? They exist because of the book.
Okay. Would the Asaf that you met strike you as a Boros legionnaire?
No.
There you go.
Okay.
I lost my train of thought. I got distracted and was having to remember specifics.
Yeah, we were talking about.
Yeah. Anyways,
about
I think that if we
need
could,
reporters
Oh, yes.
and printing machines in the air, like nearby them. It's like,
He takes
yeah, just some sort of even.
I do have a few reporters and observers embedded in the various guilds. I have one or two that's embedded with the Simic, the Golgari, and the Sunholm with the Boros Legion. They could possibly relay information. It's not normally the flow that goes, but yes.
Yeah, we're trying to.
All right,
We're kind of
well-
improvising here.
yeah, like
Admittedly.
tell them to like. We need to let them know that help is coming, and it's going to be a little unexpected. Like being both us, the Second Sight Agency, and maybe some Rakdos, like stirring up trouble. I was like,
Well, in order to have them relay information without compromising their positions, it may take a little time to set things up.
don't worry, it's going to take us a while to even get to Rakdos, much less convincing them. Well, probably not much less. It's like,
He makes an. You're going back to the Undercity then.
Possibly.
mm,
I believe the Colosseum was where they're currently massing.
Yeah, which is a former.
Was that out loud? Okay.
Mm.
You were going to one of their nightclubs. Okay, I was under the impression that you were going to be going to their guild hall, which would be an impressive feat.
it would be, but we're not in. We're one miracle was good enough today.
We probably need more than just one miracle today.
Good enough, but never enough. Yes. Well, you have effectively kept the iron coin out of the Orzov's reach, so I will consider this mission accomplished. Congratulations, you are not going to have to worry about any lava baths for a while. And as such, he pulls open a drawer and sets out 3 potions of greater healing. The Sakor promised, and pushes it forward. And you now have the right to ask a single question individually. I will put the full force of the Demir Information Hub into finding an answer for you. And you can collectively make a request, and we will do our best to see it carried out.
Good to know. We should probably get going.
Yeah,
It is
we'll pocket that.
quite late. It's 7, 8-ish. Are you sure you wish to go out into the streets at night with the Gruul out there?
Well, are there likely to be more or less?
The Gruul keep their own hours, but they brought several nocturnal hunting creatures with them.
Well, and I looked to the rest of my crew. Pretty sure not all of them have dark vision. I was like, I think it might be better for them if we.
Yeah. Also, we've been up all this time.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe.
Well, y'all slept at AppleOak when y'all arrived.
Yeah. We did sleep at the
but y'all
at the monastery.
Y'all only managed to get about 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah, it's been like 12 hours, 11 maybe.
Y'all got up.
Speaking of the monastery, they are willing to. Speaking of the monastery, they are willing to help heal anyone that comes to their walls at this point. We've managed to talk to them about lending any healing.
He makes a few
cross
notes on the
guild.
paper. And so
They're also
Broadcast that civilians are welcome in the Selesnya Enclave.
There also may have been an archer following us purely for guarding purposes. If you see a Selesnya archer, that may be someone that's with us.
Oh, here, and he holds out a hand, and there's like a shimmer of air, and you can see a rooftop. It does not look particularly familiar. There is a person in a leaf-patterned cloak, kind of crouching down on the top of the roof with a longbow. So yes, they followed you in, but stopped at the intercession line because they didn't have any Demir equipment with them. And he closes his hands and vanishes.
Well, he's like,
Okay.
That's not incriminating. Anyway, I wonder how he blends himself up in there. Like, is he trying to pretend to be part of the gutter or what? Are the leaves collect?
I'd like to distribute the potions to one to Watcher, who's out of potions, one to Grigum, who needs potions the most usually, and one to me that doesn't have any innate healing in case I need to get anyone on the battlefield, if that works out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll be honest. Most of my liquids at this point have been
Booze.
various alcohol.
Because Ferder has 2 regular potions because he has K
So what
nearby
kind of
normally.
potions are these again?
Greater heal. Yeah.
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 So yeah, if we can make arrangements to stay for.
Watcher kind of grabs the
Rest.
bottle and tucks it under his wing.
I tie it on to his necklace
He
and
makes
take
a
the
happy
2 empty vials from me.
Okay, add those to your inventory as well. Asham kind of looks around and says, we have... Do you want to sleep now?
But look at everybody else. I mean, that's kind of.
Well, we need to wind down at least.
That works for me.
Oh.
Everyone make a wisdom
Maybe
saving
you
throw,
all.
please.
Oh.
That would be a 21.
That's a 9.
8.
Natural 20 for a 24.
24?
Yay.
Okay. So,
Grigum is out like a light.
Grigum and
Only
Rail,
good.
kind of, and then vanish from the room. Like, Asham kind
So where are we really, Asham?
places. Home.
Safe places?
As safe as any other place right now. Let's try that again. And make another wisdom saving throw, please.
I fail that one with the
Um,
9.
Okay.
It's 17.
Okay. You both... the group of y'all collectively wake up in the morning on the outside steps of the postal hub. You find like little wrapped packages of food next to each of y'all, and like just yeah, I think that's about all they would have given you. Yeah, they gave y'all 1 day's worth of food.
Well, we didn't really eat dinner, so probably going to start eating mine now.
Does Kay have one?
Yes, Kay has a little care package as well. It has like kibble in it.
Yay. Yay.
I think we've done futtering around. Where are we going next?
Eat and walk. Eat and walk. It's like we're like
Back to the map.
I've got to go get Frederick on the way out.
I haven't heard anything against going to the Orzhov again. It's like who knows? Maybe they'll just give us a freebie if we let them know that. You know that the coin is beyond anyone's reach, technically, apart from those who can plane walk.
Well, it does save them a lot of money not having to mount expeditions anymore. I mean, that is definitely a point in our favor.
I'm a little more concerned about what the Demir have learned about who told us about that. And it's like, but that's a problem for like another day. It's like, I guess now we should make a swing by Orzhov since they're on the way. It's like,
that is a problem that the Office of the Guild Pack is probably well aware that we have and probably on board with.
Okay, so y'all are going to head to the Sanctum of the Bright Soul next, then?
Sure.
All right.
unfortunately, so.
So
I mean, we might as well get the awkward checking in over with before we have, Debt Knights come get us again.
Knights of Obligation, but yeah. Okay, so as in the previous instances, the difficulty increases as the incursion continues. You have to make 7 successes before you get 3 failures to make it to your next location.
We might start needing some teamwork here.
Yeah, I will try for stealth.
Okay.
I would like to aid in that stealth. I was like,
Okay.
All right.
because I'm betting you have it trained, but I just have a high dex anyway, so is what I'm more than capable of helping.
Okay, so that's going to be a total of 21.
Okay. So
I got 2 16s.
So Griggum and Faradir watch for places that are not being actively observed and deep shadows that y'all can move through. Who's next?
You take the high road. Like, I'll take the high road. You take the low road.
I'd like to actually ask Faradir's help, since he's been training on lockpicks with me, to go through a few key buildings instead of around.
Okay, make a Thieves' Tools check for opening doors and stuff. With advantage if someone's helping you.
Yeah. I'll help.
The first roll was a natural 20, so 25.
Hey.
Ingrid...
Kind of makes up for the building thing.
Don't forget, y'all had a long rest, so you healed up from that damage.
Right, long rest. Like,
Ingrid, with Faradir's help, opened several doors, and you managed to use them to cut through shops into alleyways and down through alleyways into other shops to bypass a large section of streets that you would have had to go through. That puts out 3 successes. Who's next?
And is Griggum going to give us acrobatics so that we do so like a Jackie Chan movie?
yeah.
Alright, go ahead and make your roll.
I'm not trained in it, so I don't know if I'm allowed to assist or not.
You have to be able to make
I wasn't
a roll.
trained. Yeah, I wasn't trained in stealth, so like.
Okay, I'll assist.
If you can make a roll, then you can do it. So if it's a situation where it's like only trained people can do this, then you can't assist. But things like acrobatics, stealth, everyone has like some basic idea of that. So yeah, you can help.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
I will assist.
Who is assisting in what action?
I'm assisting you for the acrobatics.
All right. It's like, oh, in that case, I'm going to use like the 2 golden d20s I've got here because I figured may as well make those my advantage.
Makes sense.
Yeah, just these lovely goldians. It's like,
Those clack nice.
yeah, it's like, yeah. We've got a 27 with a natural 20. It's like,
Another natural 20? Okay.
yeah. It's like,
So that's 5 successes?
That's 5 successes. So, between Faraday and Griggum, y'all managed to climb over several collapsed buildings and take shortcuts through them to avoid patrols. Okay.
Also, along the way, I refresh my zombie thing.
Okay.
do more swig out of my like wine.
And put on my armor.
Okay.
Is the zombie having trouble?
Not really.
You can do a quick stumble.
Okay.
It's like
Kay keeps gnawing on his leg.
it's not like
No.
Okay, who's next? Rael, I think it's your turn.
Alright, so still trying to get. Now we've done acrobatics.
Acrobatics, stealth, and thieves' tools.
Yeah, I think last time you did your not thaumaturgy, the other one. Your fortune telling thing.
Are y'all?
Which skill are you picking?
Well, last time I did augur.
Mm-hmm.
There's survival
Can
too.
I try to? Well, I was gonna. Can I try to just keep a very sharp eye out and use?
Yeah, make perception.
Okay, I assist.
Okay. So go ahead and make your perception check with advantage.
All right. First roll is a 2. Second roll is a natural 20.
That'll be enough.
Hooray!
Thank you for that advantage.
So
Teamwork!
Teamwork makes a dream.
So, working together as like a y'all feel like y'all are coming together as a finely tuned unit, as you each employ skills and help each other along the way through this Gruul incursion zone. You approach the Sanctum of the Bright Soul, and yeah, there are a lot of 20s today.
I think we're a little,
Yeah,
little
just
close.
as a note, I'm imagining like late 80s montage sequence.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I was
To get
thinking
to-
a little less A-Team, a little more like or like Three Stooges level of like acing this.
Either way, y'all managed to come together as a unit to get yourselves from the Demir Post Hub to the Sanctum of the Bright Soul flawlessly. You approach the courtyard and you see what was normally a open, bustling courtyard is almost completely deserted, with the exception of a ring of disembodied spirits circling the entire thing. There has to be at least 100 of them out there.
Ooh, okay.
What are circling out there? It's like
Disembodied
Ghosts.
spirits. There's these
Alright.
spirits in heavy black robes with the hood pulled all the way forward, just draped in gold chains.
Sorry, are they swirling or are
They are
they like stationary?
They are holding position. They're hovering about maybe 6 inches above the ground, facing outward, maybe a foot of space between each of them.
probably we're also working to keep Drakes away. He's like, okay, well, let's see if we can we can make any headway approaching them. He's like, they certainly be expecting us on some level. He's like,
So you approach the spirits.
Yeah,
yes. He's like,
As you start
kind
to,
of in a.
like, you spotted them a lot sooner than you got. As you come close to them, you hear this low tonal chanting coming from them, like a chorus.
Present our. Like
I mean-
basically one so we get in earshot, I think we should state our business. Hi, we're from the Second Sight Agency. We're trying to take care of the Gruul situation. Can we please speak to a representative?
No response.
Okay, guess we'll just try and push on through then, because
I'd like to do an Arcana check on which ones might be better for communicating with.
Make a religion check.
Okay.
Oh dear.
I mean, I might as well. 14.
You don't know terribly much about the Church of the Orzhov, but you do recognize that. Well, actually, no. You would know a bit more than most. So, you recognize these as indentured spirits. They are people that died while still owing a debt, and so they are bound to follow the orders that are presented to them.
They're Marley and Ma.
Okay, so we probably need to work our way around to see something.
I'm going to go ahead and leave a guidance on myself in case I need it, and just try calling out really loud for Asoph, our a representative.
All right, so what are you calling out?
Asoph the Bright Soul, we're checking in.
Did you just call out?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we might.
The two of the spirits kind of like in front of you stop their chanting, and their hoods kind of like to you. And then there's a waver, and two of them fade away.
Okay, I think we can go in now.
Go in now.
Frederick is not going yet.
how's Reeve holding up? I was like,
Reeve has been
go.
following behind. Like, he was okay with the Demir hub, but like the second, like when y'all started getting closer here, and he started seeing the spirits and stuff, he started lagging behind a bit.
Fair.
He's still following you, but he's clearly not like, oh yay, let's go see the Orzhov.
Yeah.
yeah, no,
That's
even
that's
we
reasonable.
aren't, even we aren't too keen on this. But hey, the more experience you get, the more you're able to handle it. It's like, so, come on, kid. It's like,
So y'all approach the Sanctum of the Bright Soul. The stained glass windows showing the angelic figure with the spread black wings are absolutely flawless. The black and white sweeping marble columns are uncracked, untouched. There seems to be no detritus or trash or rubble in the area. As you go into the sanctum, the sound of prayer just is deafening. Every pew in the 60-foot long hall is filled with people kneeling and praying. At the central dais, up behind, at the very far back behind more stained glass, is the golden throne of Asoph. She is sitting in and wearing a very similar outfit where y'all had first encounter. She was wearing this daphnis, almost transparent gold dress. Now it is like gold body accentuating armor. Her staff is gone, replaced with a scythe that is as tall as she is, and she's like 9 feet tall, as you remember, so it's a pretty big weapon. Ringing the room is another chorus of spirits chanting as y'all enter. Everyone, well, not everyone, but several of the people look up from the pews towards you.
approach Ace.
So-
Wait, is Aesop also chancing?
No, she's sitting. She is presiding on her throne.
I'll go a
Okay.
little nearer
As long
and
as
then
she's not
see if she
the
calls
first
us
person to
over or not, rather than going all the way up.
She looks at y'all, but she neither beckons nor sends you away. But she is clearly watching you to see what you're going to do.
We may as well approach. He's like, come on. Look,
Are you going all the way
what the
up?
situation.
Are you going all the way up to the throne, or are you stopping at the dais?
We can stop at the dais. We just need to
Yeah,
be within
yeah.
earshot.
Okay.
There's no point in.
And I presume there's like
Violating
a
personal
traditional bowing method or something that
Make a history
would generally
check.
be done.
A typical etiquette. Like, if only we had a Let's get the Izzet to build one.
That is only an 8, so
You
Deny
don't know.
assist.
I feel like if anyone does another roll, it should probably be Rail.
I was
gonna
going
make
to say,
a
you
roll anyway.
probably don't want Rail to be the person talking here, given how he feels about us.
As you approach...
I'm going to make the history roll as well.
Okay.
8. Grigum doesn't give a shit.
Okay, might as well. That's 20.
You have 2 years of memories.
We've approached her before.
Okay. You remember not showing any particular deference or bow or anything like that when you approached her previously.
Okay.
As you approach the dais, that weird warping effect happens again where the sound behind you and seems to become muffled like someone is talking through cotton. You have the impression that you could speak at length here without being overheard by others.
Okay, well, what a shit show we find ourselves in, huh?
Do you have my coin?
One could say that.
Alright, good news and bad news. Bad news? We don't have the coin. Good news is not even on this plane of existence. It's like... So,
That does not sound like good news to me.
well, think of it
It
this
is-
way. No one else from this plane of existence can take it from you. It's like,
That
it's out of
It
your
is-
reach, but it's out of everyone's reach. It's like,
It is good news in the respect that at least resources that could be employed otherwise would not have to go into finding it, and we can tell you its last known carrier.
So what you are telling me is that you failed to retrieve the item that you were sent to get.
well, it wasn't here before we even started. It's like, but we have the information for you, point you in the right direction. It's like, and maybe us in the right direction if you care to hire us again. It's like,
I assume you...
What we're
Hmm? Go ahead. Oh.
Yep.
Well, hold on. Oh. What is going on here?
Server split.
Hello?
Testing.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Testing.
Can you guys?
I can
I
hear.
can hear and see all of you. I don't know what the hell happened.
I
there.
hear everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear everything.
So-
See
I
everything.
can't see Meryl, so I'm going to reload again. Mine totally crashed a second ago.
Shoot, sorry, that was my Discord as well. Was that everybody?
I believe so.
Just you.
No,
and
I was
Zip.
fine.
Weird.
Well,
Okay.
give Ziziva a second to get back
Okay.
in. Welcome back, hon.
Okay. Sorry, so what we're saying is that the coin was inaccessible before you ever sent us to retrieve it. We've brought you back all that anyone could of the coin. Our job is complete. Our payment is expected.
Hmm.
And then there's other new business.
I assume you came to do more than simply report your failure. What is it?
Well, we are organizing an effort, among all the guilds, to bring forth I guess you could say, a effective lines of communication to help push back the Gruul as a unified front. So far, we have met with the Conclave, the and Dramir, and they have managed to provide some assistance. The Conclave will provide some healers within their walls. Once we give them a place to set up and a target to aim at, we'll provide some of their experimental cannons. And the Dramir are willing to send a message to the Boros to let them know that we're making our way towards them. We mostly did come here just to see what else we could do for you, and vice versa. Since we were on our way down to Rakdos to cut a path to the Boros.
This incursion is nothing more than rabble acting out of its anger. They will eventually tire themselves out, and eventually they will return to their proper place. We have sheltered.
Time is money, is it not? Time is money, is it not? And the sooner that this ends, the sooner money can flow.
Our money is flowing. Our faithful are protected. Those who owe us are gaining greater debt under our protection. Those who never owed us now have an obligation to us. The rabble will eventually leave, and I see no reason to expend my resources to hasten that.
Well then, that's how you feel about it? We will take our leave.
And we'll be sure to tell whoever asks that I'm really debating with myself over foolhardy I want Rail to be.
I will smack you if you say something stupid in character, just to let you know.
I feel like that's not going to go too well, but that's up to Rail.
we are the Mickey Mouse gang right now. If you want to say something foolish, go for it. It makes for good TV.
Should the other guilds band together and be routing, is there a way that you would like us to contact you so that you could make a proper showing at the time comes for reputations and such?
The opinions and thoughts of outcasts and those who have lost their family's name are of no matter to us. Spread whatever words you wish. They will fall upon ears that hear only the clink of our coin. You buy your food with our money. You pay your rent with our coin. You have not...
At the moment, I think I do neither as an outcast, actually.
I think we have our answer. I don't think we have
our answer.
Yeah.
And we're on a very tight timeline if we need to get this to work, so...
I'll be sure to let anyone who asks know exactly how eager Asaf the Bright Soul is to pay their debts to those.
To be frank, I don't think that we would that information is probably already out there.
Yes,
I don't
I'm
think
sure
it
the
would be
reputation.
upon us to need to
No.
circulate anything. Anyways, we have other business to attend to. By your leave, and I give a bow.
I recommend you attend to your business then, and not to set foot in the sanctum of the Bright Soul if you are unable to fulfill your obligations. She kind of leans back into her chair.
Noted, may your business be profitable.
No response.
Yeah, I'm
Very
just going to
well.
mutter
And remember, there are no
As we're
obstacles,
leaving-
only opportunities.
Oh my god. I'm going to mutter under my breath in Abyssal. May all your chickens come home to roost.
Well, the Abyssal Plane do have chickens. I remember that now.
Yeah, they keep going through my damn portal. Sorry, wrong game. That was a Minecraft reference.
Yeah.
Okay, so I assume that we get out of the
No
Bright
one
Soul
is attempting to
as-
stop you.
And we're going to keep it that way. And we're going to go at not a run, but definitely a little quicker than usual walk.
Okay, so y'all are outside the sanctum. The ring of spirits still remains. The two that had vanished to allow y'all through have reappeared.
Okay. I guess it's onto the Rectus now?
I believe he's saying we're still inside the circle and they've reappeared.
Yes.
I'm not sure though.
Yes.
I don't think they're going to stop people from exiting anyway. And if they do, well,
We'll just say
we'll
our
deal with it.
business is concluded.
Okay. You
Mine isn't. But mine can.
So you walk up to the
Something
ring of
like
them, tell
Conquest
them our business is concluded. Two of them turn to look back at you and shimmer away to create an opening in their ring for you.
There we go. See? Easy, simple. There we go. Instead of just, let's walk into the shield.
I'd like it to note, like, if I haven't been doing anything exerting when an hour ends, I would just be renewing my shield with the spell slot I get back.
Okay.
Okay, let's go
I
on
would-
to... Do we want to go straight to the Rakdos, or would it be easier to go to the Conclave, and then from the Conclave to the Rakdos?
Oh, I figured the archer might, that's following us might, I don't think they needed to resupply themselves yet, do they?
You've had no contact with the scout.
Which is a pity, because I figure that they could probably need, be aware of what we're trying to do and give input, but... So that's
Just shout out, hey, if anybody's out there, we have food and water for you if you need it. Just letting you know.
Was that out loud?
No, I was like,
But,
that's not what we're planning
so do we
to do.
want to just go straight to the Rakdos?
Well,
or-
the thing is that we have to consider ish. It's like how the map is laid out, and like if we can even just simply cut straight across like that. Like,
You can. It's a
yeah.
little bit
Yeah, that's
more
what I'm saying.
round.
Do we want to go straight across, or do we want to go down to the Conclave and out?
like we're on, like it would be a heck of a journey to go straight there. It's like, well, I mean, it's a city. It's not like that audacious, but it's like
That's about
at the same time, if
It'd be about 2-3 hours.
it's like, meanwhile, if we did this and then did this,
Hello.
We'd be closer to the Azorius border, so there might be less incursions going to the
there's
Apple
that.
End first.
And also we can consider like a short rest around there. Like,
A short rest near the AppleOak.
yeah, like
I would be down for that, since that would be useful.
This seems to be a relatively safe area if you want to take a short rest here.
I would like to look for any nearby outside of the area's casualties first to scrounge before a rest.
yeah, I figured that considering we do
Possible.
have a warlock in our party, like any and all chances to do short
I think
rests
I'm
to
gonna have
Well,
to go.
reload them.
I'm burning my
Okay.
I'm kind of resting in between and burning my armor. So, I mean, I don't particularly need one here, but if we took one near the monastery, I could pick up a few more zombies.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's what I was thinking. We probably could like zip down to the monastery, like short rest, and then zip straight across. It's like to the Rakta. So it'll take some. Probably take more. Well, it definitely will take more time, but it's like
Keep in
that
mind,
would help.
the longer things take, the more difficult it is as the Gruul begin to mass and patrol larger.
Problem is that we have to
swaths.
balance. Yeah, the problem is that we have to balance time and resources at the same time. It's like, unfortunately, one of our party members burns through typical resources pretty quick.
I'm okay with going straight there. I'm just keeping my armor up, and I'm just leaving one spell slot.
Okay. All right. If you are okay with it, it's like, then we can just make a straight cut across the city to like the Rakdos Coliseum. It's like,
okay, so y'all are going to be heading toward the Murder Coliseum.
Yes.
So y'all need to.
Also, we are approaching 2:30. It's like,
yeah. I think we're pretty much going to call it here, especially since Tux had to run.
right.
But I'm going to tell you that
We have our next plan of action. It's like,
yeah. It will be. You will need to occur 8 successes before you occur 3 failures on this next leg of your journey. Okay, so wow, that was a lot of fun. We had a couple issues.
That was a lot.
Like,
but
y'all managed to avoid like some really tough fights. Like the one fight that y'all did end up getting in was like the easiest of the ones that y'all could have been in.
And it was a good lesson to just keep moving when we can.
Yeah, not to get so bogged, which is a little bit of a tendency.
And not
in a lot
to
of
assume,
D&D
walking and talking. But even still, even if we were walking and talking, that would have attracted attention anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
So give me a
So
couple
yeah, but
seconds.
so far, like we have been doing really great, especially with the teamwork in the last third of travel.
So
Yes.
Pity the Orzhov are dicks, but that's how they are.
Well, the fact that we weren't killed on sight for not bringing him the coin is something of a win.
Yeah,
Rail
which,
is going to have to kill an angel.
there are a few different
Which,
ways that could have gone.
Yeah, like I will definitely say that at the very least, the Orzhov are ones to understand. Don't shoot the messenger, because they knew perfectly well with that information, we were not at fault. Like they'll still chalk it as a failure, but at the same time, it's like, well, even if I were there, that would not have been, that would have been a failure on my part. Like we'll consider that a success for me, a failure for them.
So
far as I'm concerned, Isra, Asaf owes us.
So, okay, let's go ahead and get some of these questions and answers done. Equilibrium was nice enough to send us a lot of the questions. I'm not going to ask all the questions.
Cool.
But let's go ahead and start with are there plans for future shows, and who would be the host? I have a plan for a Dust of Denumith, I think is how it's pronounced, and a Shadowrun game that I am in active process of getting ready. It's just I have schoolwork that has been slowing down a lot of my stuff.
Meanwhile, it's like,
I still need to finish my cat.
yeah. Meanwhile, I myself is like have been working on a setting for Savage Worlds, and like that I really want to put out there for people to see and explore. Like especially like in this streaming like that we're doing here.
Yep.
Like, that said, like since it is a system that I guess we haven't really used too much, I'm going to be doing at least some one shots beforehand. It's like of Savage Worlds. Like again, we mentioned at the start that probably do Deadlands. It's like, like there might be some of the we might dabble a bit in the Adventure Edition recently came out, but definitely the Adventure Edition because converting to that instead of doing the Explorer Edition, and probably run one of the mini settings that one of their books recently came out. Maybe Tesla Rangers, maybe I don't know. Tesla Rangers actually just sounded really fun. It's another kind of weird Western. Just robots instead.
I also have plans for a show that I'm tentatively calling one-shotters, which is literally going to be me and a handful of people running one-shots, and I'm hoping it'll have a rotating cast. We actually have already talked and added a couple people to our network Discord, and the plans of expanding our showcase.
I have been recruiting.
So let's see here. Next.
I still need to read the book as well, but I would very much like to try running a land game at some.
That could be cool.
I can work that into that.
Lancer would be phenomenal.
I did verify that
I need to familiarize myself with the system.
We would be good to run Occult Divinity Lost as long as we say we're not official, but I don't know if I have enough support for players for that. So it seems our team is not as into horror games.
I mean...
count me in on that.
I love
horror. Okay.
I've not had much of a chance to play horror stuff. Will be interesting.
Okay.
So that might still be coming up.
I have played Call of Cthulhu. I've tried some things with Don't Rest Your Head. I definitely play a lot of World of Darkness, both seriously and just for shits and giggles. I was
okay.
Definitely had a GM that did a lot of in between. Mortal games that basically was like Last Man Standing gets a prize for the main World of Darkness game. Anyways.
So let's move on to a little bit of a softer question. What is the best dice?
Ooh. Now, we'll say that you definitely want a collection of dice. It also depends on what your rolling surface is, I personally believe. Because if you have a nice wooden table, you want to go with, softer plastic dice. Because the metal dice definitely can and will scuff up a good wooden table. If it is a hardy table, or maybe heaven forbid you start playing on a not a poker, pool table. Metal dice certainly are nice. Metal dice certainly are nice and they have a great sound to them. Beyond that, you don't want to mix metal and plastic dice together if you're rolling them at the same time.
It goes badly.
Unless you're destroyed.
Yeah.
That would you want to pair like dice with like. Beyond that, bells and whistles are, that's a give and take.
I have boring dice taste. I like solid colors, easy to read numbers, moderate bounce.
See, I have the nice gold and black set that I use for the really big rolls, but other than that, I use these semi-translucent blue ink dice for most of my other stuff. But my favorite die would be the D10. It's pretty versatile.
Yeah, you definitely want dice that have clear numbering on them, because I have had a discussion with a different group before about how some dice are really pretty to look at. But in practical use, sometimes you roll something and it's what the hell was that? especially sometimes some dice are like they replace the highest or lowest number with some weird symbol. It's like, and then it's like, is that good or bad? I remember Acquisitions Incorporated game where one of them had that, and it's like, you rolled so badly they didn't have a number for it.
It's unpopular for actual dice, but I actually like rolling the spinner dice because you can take them to like games and use them as spinners, and then just take them to your gaming and roll them. So I feel like having the one dice for either purpose is nice, but they're generally not as table accepted. So I don't use them, even though they're my favorite.
Especially if it's like, maybe a living campaign, like, or Pathfinder Society or whatever Adventure League. It's like, they probably would want you to try and keep
Adventure
standardized,
League especially. Yeah. So
definitely want standardized dice. It's like, but if you're just playing for shits and giggles and have funky dice, you want, give it a shot. It's nothing shameful. It's like, just be prepared to swap out if it just is too.
If it's crazy, yeah.
Because I do have like a set that look like warrior shields or like spell scrolls for like D4, that kind of.
Oh, the fancy ones, yeah. I don't know how true they roll. So here's this one's kind of complicated. It's to everyone, so we'll just go on down the line.
All right.
Do any of the characters, PCs or NPCs, regret some of their actions?
Does Rail regret any?
I feel like Ingrid's still hiding from some of her actions, but I don't feel like regret's really in the scope.
Regrets of her walking into that Orzhov temple in the first place. We never should have listened to Asaf. We should just.
That's why I said, why do we need to visit them? Like,
at least this forestalled the Knights of Obligation coming by to see what happened later.
So, I have a lot of characters. Just to touch on one or two, Gruul definitely has a few regrets about things that she has done. Reeve is asking like a couple questions, but he doesn't have any serious regrets just recently. And Cathal is very much like, why the hell did I agree to this? But y'all don't even know what's
she
going
was
on
like
with
that
her
from
yet.
the start.
Yeah.
I mean, she
Like,
pretty much from the day one was like that.
I can imagine Reeve pretty much being like to Griggum, how did we get into this mess? And Griggum pretty much half drunk saying, I can't even remember how we got into it. Or like, how do we get out of this mess?
Okay.
So yeah.
So here's
as for Griggum, like I'd say he regrets letting Carol go. I was like, that's pretty much it. Is like, because he is a
yeah. So let's see. In a similar vein, are Griggum, Rail, Fairdeer, Ingrid, or any of the other NPCs inspired by characters from other medias or by mythologies and stories?
Okay.
Yes.
Griggum, definitely the big inspiration here is all old kung fu movies, especially drunken mass movies. Not just simply Jackie Chan, but there's also several ones like Dance of the Drunken Mantis and stuff like that. And it's like, where I basically was like, yes, this feels great. And it's like these are the things I want to go into, because it's like, it's this foolish drunken old man kind of motif of like it's the, I want to say, the original Chinese crouching moron hidden badass archetype. And, and Griggum certainly has had moments of that. It's like, where especially it helps that his perception and insight is low. I'll say that much. Because
so Rail has drifted a little bit from his original idea, but he was very much inspired by call it a mix of Sherlock Holmes, Bloodborne, and most of H.P. Lovecraft's main characters.
Yeah.
With a little bit of a young Hans Gruber in there somewhere.
Hans Gruber? I don't know why I did
Hans
that.
Gruber. Oh god. The one and only Alan Rickman. But, yeah.
I think definitely for Ingrid, some of Paul Shapiro's opera with the voodoo punks and a bit of kind of that soapbox thing he gets on at the end with the dolls instead of the dead. But anyway, and definitely the cloak and a lot of her look is inspired by, there's like a dark sword mini that's a necromancer and has bird wings on the cloak. And then I was listening to a lot of Valentine Wolf's song that had a song called Corvidae. So that kind of shaped the name a little bit.
Okay. So, there are some my characters that are, there are some NPCs that are far more like derivative of other things than some of my other NPCs. Valura Omarona is a composite of several different Guardian at the Gate archetypes that I really enjoyed. So I was very glad to combine those. Hey, welcome back, Tux.
Probably got about 10 or 20 minutes before I have another interruption, but
Okay.
I'm back.
All right. So we were answering the question: are Grigum, Rail, Fairdeer, Ingrid, and or any of the other NPCs inspired by characters from medias or mythologies and stories?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, I think just kind of a little hint maybe of like the good dark elf.
Odor.
The mind in kind of a way.
Yeah. You need a second? Go ahead, take a breathe. I'll keep on talking.
Yeah, sorry. I just got a text of, hey, the new bed delivery people are being in 25 minutes. I just need to rearrange all the furniture so that they can drag that in.
Always fun. So, you sit, breathe. I'll finish talking.
Yeah.
Uncle Sweet Tooth is a amalgam of a lot of different archetypes that I can't go too far into without revealing some of the plot around them. Galoris, the dryad of the AppleOak Vendari, their poison and stuff is based off of GLaDOS from Portal, where they're hanging upside down and bending around to look and see at people. Let's see.
Yeah, I can see that.
Let's see here now. Y'all haven't interacted.
What about Asham?
I was actually thinking about how much I should tell y'all about Asham.
Oh, well, we don't want spoilers, but
I mean, let me read it just to you. Asham is clever and hardworking at the New Demir Postal Center in Barwon Hill. He is a liaison between House Demir and the SSA. And such, he works for the office of the Guild Pack. He is very much the idea of the newspaper editor who's go out and get me this story. He's all gruff, and then once he gets the information that he needs, like y'all saw today, he's just 360 back to his default, oh, I'm friendly personality.
Alright, he's very friendly except when he needs to be something else.
Yeah. Cottrell...
I gotta be careful because pretty soon he's gonna be demanding pictures of me.
That's...
Once you start building climbing on the surface, probably.
Let's see here.
Get me pictures of Fairdeer!
Most of the other NPCs that are inspired by something I can't tell y'all about because y'all either haven't met them, which will give away information, or telling you that will give
You
away
have met
plot
them.
points.
Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, devotion is very much based off of a character that I have recently seen, and so like I was like, oh, I am redoing this character entirely, but I can't tell you all about them yet. Okay, so let's see here. The next question is, how did you all meet each other? If y'all okay with that, I'll take the lead on this one.
Go for it.
So, Ziziva and I met in middle school. I was 13, she was 12. We have been pretty much in near constant communication and so on and so forth since then. Meryl and I met each other through a multi-user online role-playing kingdom. Oh wow, it's been almost 12 years now, hasn't it, Meryl?
It's been... yeah.
Yeah. Tux came into mine.
That do be how time...
I can explain the text one.
Oh, go ahead.
Addressing a group of strangers about hobbies. Out of 57, Tux is the only other one who roleplayed. And then I chased him down to join games.
And the mage joined.
As for me, it's I mostly, came to them through someone else that I was just browsing through art sites and being like, shut. And I was like, here's someone who actually plays, just to have a conversation with them. And it's like, hey, I'm going to run a game. They're like, do you want to join in? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And we met up on AIM, of all places.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I really miss it. When it was shut down, I was so depressed for 3 weeks, and then I broke down and got Discord up and running, and I'm not in love with Discord, but it works, and it solved a couple issues that I wasn't able to solve with AIM. So let's see here now. Next question is, if this episode were sponsored, who would you want the sponsor to be? Let's keep this down to a single answer.
I was going to say Coca-Cola. No.
Google.
Oh, no. No.
If I had to pick a
Well, hey, if we're under all the auspice of YouTube's policies, we might as well at least make money off of it.
If I had to pick a single sponsor, and it's unlikely that it would ever be, I would have to go with D&D Beyond, just because I really love the tool set.
Yes, seems like that's actually a solid. So I figured the next best thing would be just Monster.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Next week, we're going to be on Mixer making that ninja money.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I have been looking into getting us on Mixer as well. Oh, hey, Cooper. Cooper says sponsored by Twitch.
I would say a fun sponsor would be if we did one of our non-D&D ones, and one of the game publishers or something sponsored us. We were official for the game. That would be really cool.
Would be cool.
Oh, Idle Champions?
How I know there was an official actual play for Victoriana, and they were actually sponsored by, I believe, Cubicle 7. Something like that, where we played something from a publisher and we were actually official content for that publisher. That would be, I think, would be fun.
I mean, I really should
White
email...
Wolf so that we can get Jason Carl.
Oh. No, here, I was thinking I should email the group that made Shard to see if they would be into something like that.
I mean, you should. That'd be fun.
I mean, before
I don't know about monetary sponsor, but we may get a in-kind kind of sponsorship.
Okay, so here's a fun one. Let's keep this one to a single answer as well. What's your favorite dish or consumable? This can be either in-game, I guess, or yours.
Beef stroganoff.
Can I give one answer in game and one game out?
I will accept it.
So Rail's favorite dish is anything seafood. The more tentacles, the better.
Just
My
Cough.
glance at Faradir.
My
personal
favorite dish is
dish.
beloved combs.
Yeah, no. My personal favorite dish is actually tuna casserole. My
Oh,
mom's
that is
recipe
delicious.
for tuna noodle casserole.
Like, I don't know what you're expecting out of Grigum. He's a goblin. They pretty much can stomach anything. But if I were to put it down to any favorite consumable, it's like wine.
Gotta love a good wine.
Wine is a good middle ground of getting you drunk while not getting you too drunk. Like,
I love a sweet wine.
yeah, a good sweet wine, but not heavy on the raisin flavor. It's like, especially, it's like I don't know why sometimes that happens. I'm just like, ah.
Okay, is this
Personally, it's a.
In person, I like to go out for Indian food. I don't really have a favorite dish, but I mean, it's just I like to do that.
Yes.
I think with Ingrid in game, she actually likes the Rot Farm mushroom bars because they're like a good base template, and then she just does magic for whatever flavor she wants. So I feel like she likes having that consistent base and then just flavoring things, and she feels like it's way more convenient.
All right, what about you, Faradir? You feeling up to answering?
Yeah, so personally, probably steak, and then in character, probably just any like actual meat. I feel like it's probably all the like sustenance bars and stuff for his life that he knows of in the Simic.
Well, I got way too many NPCs to list out everyone's favorite dishes, even the ones I have that noted on. But I tend to be like, you put me at an Indian food buffet and I won't leave until I either can't eat anymore or they make me leave.
Their mistake was installing bathrooms.
Reeve's with us. How about his favorite?
Reeve? He likes fire roast meats. Like wild gamey meats that have been like cooked on open fire. Let's see here now. So here's one for Faradir directly, and this one's a little rough, so brace yourself, okay? What would Faradir's reaction be if Kay wound up being killed during combat or other events? And as a Beastmaster, what would your next animal companion be?
Probably another warhound. Honestly, Kay was originally just intended to be a companion dog. Sort of a therapy dog so that he could get through kind of the issue of not really having like people that he knows of, and then it just so happened, hey, you could actually make him useful in combat. So that was kind of the evolution of that. So he'd be pretty disheartened if he lost K, and he would probably not be like K2 directly, but it would probably have to be another warhound because it's really more of having that companionship than it really is about I need this certain stat block of a animal companion. If
John
that makes sense.
It's like,
yeah, sort of.
With tentacles. Okay, here's one for Ingrid. Would Ingrid be okay with one of her companions dying due to the core belief of the Golgari being that death and decay are important parts of the life cycle?
I feel like because of their business roles, she would probably first try to stabilize them or bring them back. If they did die, she would probably try to find a higher level necromancer that could see if they would have their functioning returned or not. Since she would probably take them, if they couldn't be revived, she would probably take them to her patron and see what could be done.
Okay, and that's actually a good lead into the next question. Does Valora have Warlock class levels? And if yes, is it possible that she is spying on the party using the voice of the Chainmaster invocation on Watcher? Valora does not actually have Warlock class levels. Valora is primarily a sorcerer. She does have a few other classes, but the majority of her spell levels come from sorcerer. She did have Watcher as a familiar, not through any class ability, but through the Ritual Caster feat. So she doesn't have access to Voice of the Chainmaster.
However, Ingrid does pretty much word-for-word transcript stuff when she reports in.
Yes. And Watcher...
And Valora has, on occasion, already known of their events before she got there and talked to Ingrid about them.
Like,
so
I'm not saying that Valora
those
is
things happen.
not in contact with Watcher. She is very much in contact with Watcher because they have had this huge history prior to Watcher becoming Ingrid's familiar. Let's see here. In episode 19, where could the party have been teleported to after Gruul transported them besides the place they ended up with? So the options that I had laid out was the Sanctum of the Bright Soul, Sunhome, AppleOak Monastery, and I included the possibility of there being people at the Rakdos Murder Coliseum and at the Postal Center, but there was no actual guarantee of that. Gruul was pretty wide traveled though, and she would have been able to send them to most places in the 4th, the 6th, and the 3rd precincts.
There were questions during that episode about if that teleport could have gone wrong and sent them elsewhere. So that might partially be what that question is.
Oh.
Because I think Equilibrium had a question, I think, during the episode about, or a comment at least, about, oh, hey, they could end up in Avernus or something.
There was a very low, like less than 10% chance y'all could have ended up in a significantly different place, or a thematically similar but different place. Let's see here now. Here's one for Griggum. Griggum seemed kind of disappointed at Gruul for not talking to the group, but instead attacking them. Is he still trusting her as much as before?
It is a complicated relationship between Griggum and Gruul. It's like, for the most part, he cannot bring himself to trust her, but when they have it's a sense of they have a mutual goal, namely that they need the Gruul situation needs to be addressed. And so yeah, sure, they're helping each other for different reasons, but it's to mutual benefit. And he's willing to trust her at least that far.
Okay.
But to say that all has been forgiven, no, that's a can of worms right there.
Okay, so got about 3 more questions to get through, and then you guys can ask me questions if you want. So,
Alright.
what would Rail's life have been like if he had been a druid like he wanted?
Well, if he'd been a druid, he probably would have, I guess, joined the Selesnya Conclave.
I mean, there's
I don't know,
druids
I think-
in the Golgari and the Gruul, though.
There are. He's not really so much as much a valued friend as he finds Ingrid. I don't think the Golgari mindset really works that well with him.
Mhm.
He would probably be still interested in ancient lore kind of stuff, probably looking into just kind of, ancient druid lore instead of just everything he could find. I think he'd be a little less fulfilled than he is in his current life. He'd probably be pretty bored.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
don't know. If he was Gruul, he could be the first to actually care about information. Like at the same time, still have plenty of excitement because that would definitely be more of a hands-on position for him.
That's for sure. What is Grigham's favorite drink?
Ooh, it's like, he's definitely a like. That's a good question because technically speaking, he's a goblin. It's like they can stomach a lot of things. It's like that said, like if he was drinking for the sake of fun and not for part of his, training, it's like something stronger than wine, definitely. Probably bordering along on just flat out. I want to say he's definitely a sweet liquor kind of guy. Like so maybe like flavored brandy. He doesn't like anything that's just flavored vodka. Or moonshine. He's like
Equilibrium is suggesting that one strong drink from the last episode, which was Biz and Bot's Bad Brew.
Yes, that he's actually going to be looking into in the future, but ultimately, I definitely would love for him to have like an alchemy jug so he can have like a gallon of wine per day. Like, when are you going to give me that, GM? When? But yeah, like if anything, he definitely likes drinks that are decently strong. Like we're talking maybe around like 35 to 45% like range. And that are in solid hefty bottles.
Okay, so one last question from the group. Any landmarks or places your character wants to visit? And then once we answer this, y'all can ask me any questions y'all want, and then we'll probably wrap it up pretty soon.
First precinct. In its entirety. Like, that's not some place that a goblin goes to. It's like,
that's very much the gated community of Ravnica.
Yeah. Like, not so much that he wants to, live there. It's not his kind of place. But this is apparently like the place of places. And it's like, surely, it's like, I can at least take a look at what I'm apparently missing. It's like does this like it is part of his journey? It's like,
I think I'd like to go to the...
To where?
To the moon!
Which one? There's two.
Ah.
Oh.
Well, that's why I said...
Oh, moons.
It's a thought as to someplace interesting that our journeys might take.
I
don't know.
Final Fantasy airship dragged by a dragon.
I was about to say,
way up there.
Steal an airship, pointed up.
I mean, I think there's a couple, like, the Millennial Tower thing would probably be cool. And I feel like after they got shunted off of their own plane, Ingrid would be a little more like, I kind of want to check out what's here and explore more. Since we kind of almost didn't make it back and could have been trapped dying in a room full of gold. So I feel like she would definitely want to, like, just explore more of what's around.
Nanot doesn't like company well enough to keep y'all there. Fairdeer, any places you would want to visit? You're muted?
Oh,
or
shit. He said home.
Oh, home. Oh, wow.
Oh.
That is
wow.
a can of worms.
That is a huge can of worms that I cannot wait to unpack. I want to send y'all to the 6th precinct. Because I have...
Finger doesn't want to go there.
Because I have so much story stuff waiting for y'all to be forced there. Okay, so if anyone
Sure, we'll
in the
be there
chat has
eventually.
any questions, feel free to ask that. Otherwise, players, feel free to ask me anything you want. I will answer what I can.
I had a question, but I seem to have... What was it? Okay. I'm just going... Okay, alright, I remember what it was. So, this was just, I guess, a quick question for... Were there any character concepts that you almost picked, but... Like, who would have been your runner-up character?
Oh, backup characters, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
oh boy, it's like being a Magic the Gathering player. It's like I so wanted, on some level, to play a character from Is it like, especially when I found out about all the stuff that they can wield. It's like, but at the same time, I felt I don't want quite so soon. Like I want to save that as something else entirely. It's like, and at the
Okay.
time, I had been watching movies, and I was like, why not have a drunken monk? It's like, be the spiritual center of this group.
All
I think
right.
I
Speak
was
volumes about our actions.
I was pretty set from the first on my character, though I did make a backup character that I don't want to go into that would let me explore like a whole different functioning of Ravnica.
Oh yeah, the one we were
Okay.
talking about, that would be a massive change in your playstyle too.
Yes, it would.
All right. Well, I do just want to say, if something happens to Ray, I had a back character build who have actually changed a bit. So if something happens to Rail, you may wind up with a Centaur Paladin. Mounted Cavalry? I am the Mounted Cavalry.
I mean, there's worse things. I really like some of the race options that they added in Ravnica. I love some of the race options they added in Eberron.
I kind of now feel if we ever ended up losing Rail and Ingrid at the same time, the party flavor would very rapidly shift.
Yes.
Knowing what my backup is too.
As happy as I am with this campaign, I am excited about campaign 2. Whatever that will be. I had previously like, oh, I got these homebrew worlds and we can use those, and then everyone came out. It's like, oh, that's right. This is the awesomest setting ever.
Speaking of which, it's like I came across a setting during my like, what was it? Having to look up for a different game altogether. It's like called Dragonstar. Now this is an old setting from Fantasy Flight games, apparently. It's like, and it was meant for the 3rd edition rule set. And it basically was like dragons have taken to the stars and have their galactic empires. And it's like, and apparently the chromatic dragons were the ones in charge for the longest time, but for this particular point in time, it's like a red dragon has come into power. It's like, and is causing all kinds of havoc across the galaxy. And apparently the big draw of this is that you can plant this into any setting.
Oh, this is like
and just have aliens.
Oh, I remember this now. This is kind of their, like,
Yeah.
it was a little bit like Spelljammer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little bit like Spelljammer. And it basically was like, whatever game you're playing per se, you can just have alien drow just drop in from the sky, and it's like, hey, guess what, motherfuckers? The universe is open to you. So it's like, so I thought that was interesting, and it was very close to the kind of setting I create for Savage Worlds. So I'm probably going to be getting that and taking a look at it at some point. But it's like,
I love very open settings. Like, the current, I have like I have one primary setting that is my go-to, Kataris, which is, the standard European fantasy set. But there's one I'm working on right now that's very much Mad Max meets Dark Sun, with a lot of vehicle rules and stuff like that. That is on my maybe we'll do this for campaign 2 list. Because, y'all are at level 5 now. 20 episodes at level 5 to get to level 5. I'm honestly thinking that we'll probably get to maybe 100 episodes in this campaign, a little bit more. But y'all are making some pretty quick progress. Y'all are almost to level 6 right now as it is. About halfway there, playing through the episodes.
I'm going to put money right now. Episode 83 is what I think we'll get to.
Well,
I don't know. I'd like to make it to 50 episodes, and then we can see where we go.
I expect us to make it to 50. I expect us to make it to 30. I would like us to make it to 50 followers.
Yes!
We are
almost
so bloody close. It's like I'm getting close to the point of just going down the street with grabbing people and go, follow this.
So yeah, I think it's like, oh yeah, no, never mind. He's like, I had something in mind, but that's for our closing up. It's like, my zen of the day.
Well, I think we're pretty much done unless y'all have questions for me.
I feel like if I could remember some of the ones that I've asked off screen, that might be good to get those official for people, but I am drawing such a big blank right now,
Yeah,
other
it's
than
get put on the spot, and it's like,
You gotta write those down.
You've asked a lot of stuff about the Golgari culture, about Rathen's
but they don't need to know that
family,
stuff.
stuff like that. A lot of it has been you calling me on me getting details confused.
I'm still confused because, never mind, I'll tell you later, but and part of that has been off-screen conversations when I visit my patron, rather than DM questions. So that's a little different on those.
My answer will deceive you.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I was taking a look at the thing. If we hit 50 followers, that'll trigger a big achievement for us. And then we are just like a couple streams away from a couple's regular streaming more regularly and having more people talking in the chat, away from hitting that path to partner, I think it is, or path to affiliate achievement on Twitch. I am going to look at getting us onto Mixer as well and try dual streaming, because apparently.
And we're not. I was just gonna say, and we're not playing on the 1st, but if we got up to 50, we could be doing a giveaway on the 8th even.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
There will probably be a couple days where we're not having streams, or a couple weeks where we're not having streams towards the end of the year, as we celebrate the end of the year and as I radically upend my life and haul things across country.
Again.
Hi, Tux.
Did you have any questions for the GM about the world?
I have many questions about the world, but not the one that he's created.
Okay. You want to throw one in for fun? World musings from Fair Deer. Come on.
So what's the deal about dogs not being allowed? Sorry, I gotta go. I guess that's it for me. Bye.
Perfect timing.
Right.
Later.
All right, folks.
All right, I think we're going to call it at this. Thank you all for sticking
right.
with us through this insanity.
Right. It's like,
And be sure to make like a polite werewolf. Like and subscribe.
That's right. If you're watching this on Twitch, please follow us. We'd really appreciate it. If you're watching this later on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment so we know we're doing a good job. If you're listening to this in the far future and it's on a podcast, please rate us and leave a review.
and your your moment of zen for the day. You are what you eat. So I could be you overnight.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Thank you, Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Anyway, have a good one.
Okay.
Oh,
Again, we won't have an episode on the 1st, but we will resume our normal streaming schedule as soon as possible. Follow us at Bonus Roll for updated information about episodes that we're missing, people that have gone missing, and things that are going wrong. Bye.
Bye.